Can you hear it?
Yeah, is mine on?
Cold enough in here?
All right.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, so pretty simple right here. And then we can just keep that on, and then have that ready to go.
Wait, so they can hear us right now, the viewers?
Yeah, right now we've got no viewers though,
Oh, okay.
but they'll start to flood in over time.
Gotcha.
Hopefully we got a active live chat today. Yeah, see, so that's pretty easy. Like watching, click through that.
But like the cameras will like automatically like zoom in on the people, right? When it's like their action.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do any of that. That'd be way too hard
Yeah.
if we had to do that as well. So yeah, if you ever need to like, oh wait, let's see. Hello, talk.
Hello.
Okay, so yours is off one. This is yours. This is mine.
Mhm.
And let's see if we can maybe bring the live chat up on my phone too.
Hey, why did you not want to play today?
We got 11 viewers in the chat right now. 7 minutes to go before this stream begins. Let us know if you guys can hear us in the chat. What up, David? What's up, Poker Monkey?
Hey everyone, we got a new commentator here with Jello, and I'm Tricky Fish, and I presume a lot of you guys know me because I'm a frequent player on this stream. But yeah, this is my first time commentating, and I think it's gonna be a really fun time.
Yes, everyone, welcome Tricky Fish to the booth. First time in the booth with me tonight. Neither of us are playing tonight. We've got a kind of a mixed up live stream lineup tonight, so it's gonna be a juicy one, and I think it should be pretty fun in the booth too. I'm excited. All right, good news. They can hear us. We'll. Oh, that's this.
Uh,
Let's see. Yep. I hope we get to call some people into the booth today.
absolutely, yeah.
Hope we get some juicy pots. I know we're playing the 7 deuce game and the stand-up game today, so that'll be fun. Hey, what up, Sassy? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a fun one for you guys tonight. Got logged out of our Instagram. Sad. Yeah, or we've got a third one right here. I believe. Yeah, this one should be this. Hello, hello. Hello. I think it is. If not, yeah, we can give them that one. good call. What is going on, everyone? I'm Jack from Next Gen Poker, here commentating live tonight for the Savage Sunday for Next Gen Poker's 2-5 No Limit Hold'em. We've got a 1,500 cap and a juicy lineup tonight. It's going to be great. I'm joined here by my buddy Tricky Fish, also named Evan. He's just grabbing some water right now, so he'll be back in just a second, and we're ready to hop right into the action in just under a minute. What is going on? How we doing, Evan? How we doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Pretty good. Ready to hop right into this action. It's going to be a fun one tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. Everyone's getting chipped up right now, mic'd up, ready to go for the stream, putting their phones away. It's going to be a fun one. Like I said, it's a 1,500 cap 2-5 stream if you guys are new here. But I see we've got some regulars in the chat. We've got Poker Monkey, we got Frank, we got DFS Brett, all the boys ready for the stream tonight. Welcome in, everyone. And make sure to share the live stream with your friends if you get a chance. Let's get some good viewership and some activity in the chat tonight, especially for Tricky Fish's first time in the booth.
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me here. If you don't know me, I'm a common player on these Next Gen Sunday streams, but today I decided to take a break from playing and decided to commentate instead, and hoping to have a really good time here, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited, and I think it'll give us a pretty interesting insight to see all the players that we normally play against on stream, but actually get to commentate over and kind of spectate how they play and see it from a bird's eye view. It'll be interesting to actually be able to see all their hands while they're playing, you know?
Yeah, and hopefully this will actually give me like an additional insight into these players the next time I play against them. So
That's what I'm thinking too. Especially Jay. I know you play against Jay quite a bit, and he's a tricky player to play against, so it'll be fun to watch if you can pick up on any of his maybe tells or different ways he plays that you might be able to exploit. Sassy, what about you? What is going on, Sassy? We're going to the gun range again soon. We got Sassy and Mighty Hammer both in the chat. Welcome in. Glad to have you guys here, and this should be a fun stream. As you guys saw, Knock, one of the people who typically commentates the Savage Sunday, is actually playing tonight. We kind of switched roles for this week and decided to give him a chance to play, showcase his skills. I know he's been playing quite a bit, and I was going to take a crack at some live streaming tonight, so this should be fun.
Yeah. And as for the rest of the players today, we have a great lineup today. We have, in the 1 seat, it's going to be Mr. Regis, but I talked to him yesterday, he will not be here for at least an hour. And then the 2 seat, we got Frankie, as usual. And the 3 seat, I think this is his first time on the Next Gen stream. This is Mr. Wolfgang Poker.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Wolfgang, Alex, one of our good buddies. He's also a poker vlogger, so check him out if you are unfamiliar. But you probably know him. He's a pretty local legend around the area. He actually just moved to Dallas, so he's going to be playing a lot more Dallas poker. Pretty exciting stuff. And so it'll be fun to watch him mix it up with Frankie. And he's got position on him, too, so it'll be fun to watch them battle it out.
Yeah, and we got Knock in the 4 seat, and the 5 seat, I believe, is a newcomer to the stream.
Yeah, that's going to be Harrison. Let's see if we can actually pull up each of the players' names. Let's see if... All right, well, we'll be able to get up stack sizes and all those types of graphics in a little bit once those get activated.
All right. First hand here, we see Wolfgang already get into the action, raising up to $15 with the King 10, flops top pair versus Woodley, and everyone knows Woodley, action player.
Oh, yeah.
Regular on the stream.
You already see him getting involved with the 7-4 offsuit, so you know that he's going to be trying to mix it up tonight. He actually told me, though, that he's going with just one buy-in today, so it'll be interesting to see if he plays any differently, a little bit less risky maybe. I don't doubt that he's going to be mixing it up regardless, though.
Yeah, I can see he's really mixing up a little bit. Normally he buys in for like 500, but now he's going in for the full 15, and excited to see how he plays with like a comparable stack to the rest of the players.
Mm-hmm. And Alex actually kind of slow played his king top pair. He checked the flop. Woodley bet it. Checked it back on the turn and went for some value on the river. Woodley was not falling for it, though. And as you guys can see here, we're actually playing the Nick game. I don't know if they just started it yet, but if you guys see those red buttons on the stream, if you're not already familiar, all of them say Nit on it. And basically what it is it's a stand-up game without actually having to stand up. So there will be these red buttons in front of each player. And when they win a hand, they get to take away that button from the stream, and the last player with the button remaining has to pay each of the other players $25. So it really does add up. If you lose this game once or twice throughout the stream, it can be upwards of like $300, $400 worth of losses just by not winning a pot, you know.
Mm-hmm. And also, I heard that they are going to do the Nick game every time there's a dealer change, so there's going to be at least 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And as we can see now, additionally, they're also playing the 7 deuce offsuit game for $25 a person, and Knock here is going to be tricky and limp the 7 deuce under the gun.
Oh, yeah. I think he's probably going to go for a limp raise if I had to guess.
So, yeah, we got both the 7 deuce game, both the Nick game on. There's going to be a lot of huge action, big pots, and lots of insanely tricky spots here today.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how Knock plays this, especially because Frankie might come in for... No, he just calls in the small blind with the ace-10. This is such a great squeeze spot for Knock. I can't imagine he's not going to take it here. Oh, yeah. He's going for it. Second hand of the stream. We've already got a tricky play, a massive limp raise from Knock with the 7 deuce offsuit. Will he get it through? See if we can get... There we go. Here's some table audio for you guys, too. Let us know if it's too quiet or too loud. Oh, and look at that. It folds all the way around to Frankie now.
A little bit of table talk going between Knock and Frankie here. Frankie does not look like he believes him right now, but he'll let it go. And he's going to pick up $200 in free money just by playing the 7 deuce right there.
Yeah, Frankie doesn't look too happy about that one. Knock picks up, what, like $100 from the pot, plus an additional $175 from the 7 deuce game, and saves money on the stand-up game. That was a big hand for him right there.
Yep.
Let us know how that table audio sounds on your end. If it's too loud, too quiet, give us any suggestions you got, and be active in the chat. Hey, we got Brandon in the chat. The guy, he lives in Kansas, and he's came down a few times and played on the stream. Always great action, fun to play with. Welcome in, Brandon. Have you ever gotten a chance to play with Brandon?
Yeah, I think I played with him like the very first stream I played.
Oh, he's fun to play with. He puts you in some tough spots.
For sure.
He's bluffed me quite a bit. We see Woodley opening up the action over a straddle, and Adam's going to 3-bet him, try to isolate him in position, and it looks like he gets it to work. Going to go heads up to a flop.
Yeah, and I didn't finish introducing all the players earlier, but Woodley, common face we've seen plenty of times before, and Adam is also, I believe, a newcomer in the 8 seed here.
Yeah, I think he's in the 9 seed.
In the 9 seed, my bad.
But I do think that he's relatively new to the stream. He said he's played once before.
Okay.
And so he's not totally new, but only second time on the stream, still relatively new in my opinion. But it looks like he's already gunning for it, already coming out with a 3-bet right away, and going for the double barrel bluff here.
And Woodley, as we know, is a sticky player. He floats the flop with ace high, and he looks like he wants to do the same thing on the turn.
Wow, and he goes for the raise. And immediately gets it through, shows the bluff too. Bluffing with the best hand turns out, but he shows it like a savage. Wow. Yeah, it looks like they're going to do the Nick game every dealer change, which I believe should be every hour. That was a pretty fun hand right there. Already seeing Woodley and Adam. Seems like there might be some sort of tension there from that hand. We'll see how they react to it in the future.
Wow, 4 hands in, and it looks like we already have the $80 straddle on.
Is that right? Are we playing a 5, 10, 20, 40, 80?
Jay wakes up with aces. What a dream spot here.
Dude, that is such a dream. You know, in those spots in the game when there's just massive... Oh my gosh, and he just ships it. Wow, Jay. Dude, that is such a dream spot right there. Aces getting shipped into with the $80 straddle on. Remember all the time when we have the $80 straddle on, we're like, please, please, just give me some sort of good hand.
Yep. Oh, King 10 has plenty of hope. Oh my, it's a sweat.
He has more outs. Oh.
The aces hold.
Aces hold, and Jay wins a $3,000 pot already. What a dream scenario. Literally, what was that? Third hand of the stream. Already having over 3K pot for you guys. We already know this stream is going to be action, so get ready. Buckle up. This is going to be a good one. I remember last time when we had that $80 straddle on, you had ace-5 of diamonds.
I did.
You had a few people left to act behind you. You just looked like you were in agony folding that.
you like... In that spot, you could almost never pry that hand out of me, but there's just so many people left to act, and then I can't believe Rosie folded the ace-queen there in that spot.
Yeah, dude, that's a tough spot because the collector opened it up for us to act, so that's a tricky spot. Yeah, so I'm assuming those will show up over time. We're just got to wait for them, maybe a few more minutes for them to get, like, official stats.
Okay.
It's only been a couple hands. You know, like right now, Frankie's VPIP would be 0. Or I guess not, it wouldn't be 0, but you know what I mean. We got 53 guys in the live stream right now. Say what's up in the chat. We've got Evan commentating right now, also known as Tricky Fish, a new person in the booth. So say what's up to Evan, and this should be a good one.
Hi, guys.
How's it going, everyone? And we've already got one rebuy. And Jay's already got a 3K stack.
It's the full double up less than 10 minutes into the stream.
The $80 straddle really gets people to put some crazy amounts of money in pre-flop. Because, I mean, what, 1,500 is only like a little over 20 big blinds at that point.
20 big blinds, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the collector, the 8C, who got it all in with the King 10 offsuit, he was here last time, and he saw the crazy action that the $80 straddle brings. And I don't blame him, honestly, for getting in his King 10 offsuit for only less than 20 big blinds, you know?
Yeah, especially if he has any fold equity pre-flop, you know, it'd be nice to scoop in, like, what, almost $300 uncontested as well. Looks like we've got an open from Frankie as a graphics catch-up with the ace-10. And now Woodley, it's his turn with the 7-deuce offsuit. He's going to see if he can go to work pre-flop or post-flop because he is closing action. And he knows he can put Frankie in some tough spots. Let's see how Woodley decides to play this hand. I don't think he's going to give up just yet. He immediately goes for the raise from what I heard.
Frankie, a non-believer, going to call with his overcard and gutter. We'll see if Woodley can keep firing on the turn.
Yeah, it's a pretty small raise, and it looks like Woodley immediately shuts down when the king pairs. Goes check, check. And no one improves. We'll see if Woodley decides to take a stab here. I think he's going to go for it. Oh, no, he gives it up. Wow.
Frankly, wisely checks it back, and Woodley has to embarrassingly show the 7-deuce that he tried to get Frankie to fold with his ace-high. Does not work. Does not pick up the bounty and just loses $100 in the process.
I know. I'm surprised he didn't go for it on the river there. I know he's going to get called by a lot of his, like, pairs, like a queen, maybe some under pairs sometimes, but, like, I don't know. With the 7 deuce, you just are never going to win the hand. You've got all this extra money in there. The bluff is so cheap if it works. If he bets $75 and wins, even though it's, like, not that cheap of a bluff for the pot size, it's such a cheap bluff considering all the bounty money you collect. The camera seems to be, like, frozen on Frankie right now. I don't know if... Oh, never mind. There we go. Now we got some switched up views. I like this name. I think this guy's name is Harrison, but he's going to go by Nick Saban today. I'm wondering if maybe he gets some comments that he looks similar to Nick Saban. It looks like we got another big straddled hand because it immediately goes 70 to 210. And Nick Saban doesn't want to give this one up too easily.
He's got a call in position with the king 6 suited, not unreasonable, but his hearts are unfortunately dominated.
Mm-hmm. He actually gets a pretty solid flop for his hand, about one of the best flops you could ask for with the king 6 here in the 3-bet pot. Willie's not going to shut it down, though. Wow. What a card here as Woodley and Nick both pick up the flush draw. How will they respond?
Wow, Woodley checks and Nick goes all in.
Holy smokes. A massive jam. I think the pot was $800 and he jammed for 1,000. Wow. So not too unreasonable, but wow, this is a savage play.
Woodley thinking it over. He does not know that he has the best hand currently. He thinks he needs to catch one of his cards to win this pot.
Yeah, and like I said, Woodley is only playing on one buy-in, so this might influence how he decides to play this hand. Little does he know his ace high is actually ahead. You can't be thinking that in the moment, though. Let's see what Woodley's saying. Oh my gosh, and he gets it through! Let's go. Dude, I think that might be worthy of calling Nick Saban in here. That was a pretty savage play.
You think so? I can go grab him right now.
Yeah, you want to call him in real quick?
All right.
We'll just talk to him for a brief second. All right, we're going to get Nick Saban in the booth here just to say what's up to you guys real quick. Already just such a sick play. Hey, what's going on? What's up? What's up? All right. Here, speaking to the mic. Let's see if that one's working. Say something.
Hello?
Hey, there we go. Okay, it's
Where
working.
am I looking?
Oh,
Okay.
you're right at this camera. What's up? Here, come a little bit this way so the camera can see you. We're here joined by Nick Saban, and that was a pretty sick play right there. What do you got to say about that king 6? What was going through your head there?
Oh, the king 6 of hearts?
Yeah.
Nothing really going through my head other than not to lose the button game the first round. So
Okay, how many people were left when it was just when you were making that play?
I think there was 2 or 3 of us.
Okay.
But I figured I had a flush draw and a straight draw, and I guess what did he have? He had ace high hearts is what he said?
Yeah, so he had the ace high flush draw, so you really got him to fold not only the best hand, but it's a hand that had you dominated too.
Yeah, so I'm lucky not to be rebuying, but just didn't want to lose the button game. That was about it. So.
And I got to ask real quick while you're in here, why do you go by the name Nick Saban?
It's just, that's just what I've always gone by, and so it's just the name on the screen, I guess.
All right, well, roll tide and keep getting him out there. Nice play.
Yep, thanks.
And for those that didn't and weren't aware, this is Savage Sunday. So when someone makes a sick bluff or a really hard hero call, we'll bring them into the booth, ask them what they were thinking, and just get to hear their thought process.
Oh yeah, and I hope I am assuming we're gonna see plenty more Savage plays as we're only a few hands into the stream, and already we've got some crazy action. Gotten multiple $3,000 pots already on a 2-5 game, so less than one rotation and pretty awesome. We've got 65 people in the chat right now, so get active in the chat, ask us some questions, and also share this with your friends. Let's get this chat bumping, and let's get it going, showing everyone Savage Sunday. So now if we want to show any type of stats, you can just click on either one of these or on anyone's name in specific. And here, watch. Click on stack real quick. All right, so here we're going to take a look at stack size real quick. We see Jay with almost $3,000. Everyone else is sitting roughly around the initial buy-in, with Adam and Collector a little bit lower right now.
Yeah, we are less than one orbit into the session, and Jay is already up twice his buy-in. So that is the dream start for him right now.
And there is one open seat currently on the stream, and as you can see here, Mr. Regis is going to fill that seat. And that'll be in just a few minutes. He's going to be coming in just a bit late, so expect to see him on the stream soon, and expect him to bring the heat as well. It looks like we're always going to have this $10 straddle on. I would be hard-pressed to not see much of the straddle going on here.
Looks like Nock's going to raise it under 30, and we are yet to see what he has. He's going to fold around to Wolfgang. Is he going to defend? He does not.
We don't even get to see what he had. Tough. What do you think about that bucket hat Wolfgang's wearing?
First thing I always say is, why are people wearing hats indoors? You know, like, what
You
are you
like
trying
to
to
wear
block
hats
out? You
indoors?
know?
It's a style.
It does look. It's not bad. You know.
I think it looks pretty goofy how it's curled up on all the sides. Looks like a fisher or like a duck hunting hat or something like that. Like a fisherman. So you're a pretty big fan of straddles, right?
I love straddling, especially in like the lower stakes games, 1-2 or 2-5. I'm a huge gambler, you know. I like to raise the stakes to play some bigger pots.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I hate opening under the gun, so I try to avoid, or I hate doing anything under the gun, so I try to avoid doing that as much as possible. If I straddle, that's basically just another blind. Let's do it.
Interesting. You don't think it puts you at any disadvantage, kind of being forced to play more pots out of position?
That is true, but I think I'm disciplined enough to be able to, like, you know, not think, oh, I have to play this because I straddled, you know?
Fair. I get that as well. See, Frankie open up the action in the small blind, gets two people to call. Oh my gosh, and Bink from space. Woodley drills his set on the turn. Frankie picks up a flush draw to go along with his queen. Adam's going to stick around. We'll see how Frankie decides to play this. I feel like this is a pretty straightforward spot to call. Don't really have to get too tricky or try to bluff. He does not get there. We'll see if anyone can save some money versus Woodley here. I know Woodley's going to bet, and I wouldn't... Oh, he checks it. And you can see he says damn under his breath. Like he was hoping he could get a bluff from Adam. But it doesn't look like he gets it through. The Bink from space, Mighty Hammer, that's right. Yeah, and DFS says he wants to see Woodley stack knock. I would also love to see that, because I know Knock is a local pro, and Woodley's more of a recreational player, but he's got some fight in him, and I would love to see him put Knock in his place. I think Knock thinks he's going to come in and crush these games because he's been playing some bigger games, but I think Woodley's got something in store for him.
Yeah, and the fact that he's also been commentating like basically every stream, he knows how a lot of these players play. And then let's see if he can use that knowledge and actually apply at the poker table.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm actually excited to see how Knock plays because I've never really gotten to watch him play before, and so I think this will be cool to see. Woodley's really going to be active this stream, I think, and I hope he runs it up. Frankie on the button with the 9s. He's going to go for a pretty small 3-bet here.
I really actually like this 3-bet. You're in position, no need to go too big. If you get 4-bet, you can probably just let it go. And then also you can build the pot in case you hit your set, Collector's going to defend his Jack-10 offsuit. Yeah,
the only problem with 3-betting so small there is that you give hands like Jack-10 a pretty good price to call, and a hand that's pretty much just flipping with you. If you go a little bigger, you might get them to start folding out those types of hands, which isn't too big of a deal.
It's a great board for the 9s. Just going to bet and take it down.
Yep. Good bet, Frankie, and nice pot. I like the play. Always nice when you just 3-bet and just throw a little tiny c-bet out there and they immediately fold.
Yep.
Just no sweat at all. What's the max number of straddle you would do, and does it depend on how much of a stack you have or how much you've been winning that session?
Obviously, if I'm like stockpiles, right? Maybe putting in like 40, 20 in the 10 on every single orbit is probably not good. If I'm up a good bit, having a good time, let's gamble, play some pots.
You ever throw on the 80?
I believe I have before, but I'm not. I'm not one to make it 80 every time,
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
I haven't seen Wolfgang get into the action much, but he's gonna raise the 6-3 suited on the button. He's gonna get immediately 3-bet by Knock from the small blind.
I don't think he's gonna defend this one. Oh. I think it's because his hand is so deceiving. Knock really never expects him to have 6-3 here. And so he can win on a lot of interesting boards, kind of sneakily too. We don't see what the flop is yet, but it looks like Knock's going to bet small. Let's see. Wow, okay, so Knock flops nothing, and Wolfgang flops the flush draw, but it's on an ace-high board, so when Knock bets small, it makes sense that Wolfgang's just going to call, and it looks like the turn was a 3, so he pairs it up. Oh, and Knock's going for it.
Gonna fire that second bullet. Now that Wolfgang picked up the pair, he's definitely not folding.
And what a massive bet. The pot's 170, and he bets 210.
I believe that the stream's actually, but I believe that Knock put in a $60 bet on the flop and was called by Wolfgang.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we do not see the turn card yet on the software.
Okay, gotcha. So it is, the pot's a little bit bigger than what it says on the stream here. And Alex is going to stick around for the call. Oh, we missed it again. I want to see what the river was. Knock shuts down and checks. Maybe he hit a pair. Oh, he did bank a pair.
How it's on Wolfgang. He probably can't think that his 3 is good. So let's see if he decides to bluff it, or just maybe he might be up against a worse flush draw. Nope. Checks it back. Knock rivers it. Luck block like always. And takes down a pretty good sizable pot.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough spot to want to go for it there with the 6-3, considering it's the ace and the king on the board. You know, those are both pretty good cards from knock, and so if he's checking back some sort of aces on that river card, I feel like he's always going to get called off. He just so happened to have the one hand that could hold on and probably would have folded to a bet. Yeah, Sassy, you're right. The tracker was a bit off for that hand. I think they're still working on getting the graphics fully set up for this stream. But I think they'll be good in the future. So let's just wait and see what happens. Look at Frankie. He's just dressed so nice tonight. Looking spiffy.
Wolfgang gonna get right back into the action, raising the 5-4 suitor from the cutoff.
Oh, yeah.
Call from Nick. Woodley's not having any of these. He's gonna immediately put in the 3-bet here with the king-queen suited.
Nick Saban shows. He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to play Jack 4. Let me play a pot. But Woodley takes it down. No contest. Got 90 people in the chat, including Akos, who says, Frank the Bank. That's right, Wells Fargo himself, Frank the Bank. He's the only next-gen member on the table right now, and hopefully he gets into some juicy spots for us. I'm cheering him on. That's my compadre, whatever you want to call him, my buddy, my business partner, Frankie from Next Gen Poker. Let's go, Frank. Gosh, that man purse from Wolfgang is so cool, too. He says it's a satchel, but I'm calling it a man purse.
I'm more of like a drawstring bag kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel that. I like just my plain backpack. But a drawstring's good, too. Frankie's backpack's pretty cool, too. But I don't think I can go with the man purse. Oh, DFS is asking, where is Rosie? And you guys are going to find this pretty funny. Rosie is actually at the Taylor Swift concert tonight. If any of you guys are Swifties in the chat, didn't get a chance to go to the concert, I know Rosie is there. One of his family friends actually called him up tonight and said that they were in town going to the Taylor Swift concert, and they had an extra ticket. So Rosie took him up on the offer, and he's going to head to the concert. I don't even know if he's a fan or not. But sounds like a fun opportunity. So hoping Rosie has a great time jamming out to some Taylor Swift. You a Taylor Swift fan, Devin? You look like a Taylor Swift fan.
I'm not. But what I can see is Nick Saban just took down a pot with 7 high, bluffs J off his pair, and shows it to the table.
Oh my gosh, and we got Nasty Bev in the chat too. Thanks, Nasty Bev. And yeah, I know Rosie's tripping a little bit. He's a Swiftie, and I guess he's gonna come back and change man. So that'll be funny to see. How you doing, Bev? Oh, and also for the stream, everyone, we are going to be giving away some Poker House merch. We're going to be gifting one person from the chat a Poker House hoodie. That'll be either shipped to you or delivered locally if you are in the area. But we are going to be giving away a Poker House hoodie, and how we're going to do that is we're going to pick a random hand from the stream, maybe like hand, I don't know, 50 or something like that, and whoever guesses closest to the pot size is going to win the hoodie. So stick around for that when we determine which hand it's going to be, and throw in your votes when we begin to set them up for that. So exciting stuff. See, Jay opened it up on the button and gets 2 callers from some pretty garbage hands, but Collector's going to flop a straight draw. Rosie wants Taylor Swift his dream girl. That's our buddy Bev. He's a guy out in LA that we've hung out with a few times and played poker with him over there. He's a pretty funny guy.
Gotcha. Yeah, Jay's gonna c-bet his ace high It's going to get check raised by the collector. And I just don't see Jay continuing here. He does have the backdoor spades draw, but I think it's going to get really tricky for him on a lot of brick turns. He just smartly lets it go. And collector, it's always feels good to scoop up a pot with 4 high, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's just like, what is collector raising there? I guess, I mean, he'll have a 5, but he'll also have so many draws. I don't really know if he's going to raise many overpairs like 6s and 7s and stuff, maybe for protection. But I might be tempted to continue there with ace-jack. But that's just me wanting to gamble and not believe anyone, so everyone's always trying to bluff. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Bev is the best poker player. He has the best bluffs. He's really good at Omaha bomb pots, and yeah, he's a beast. We're about to break the triple-digit mark for the live stream. Make sure to share this one with your friends. Let's get it going. Almost 100 people in the chat. Ask us some questions. Keep active in the chat. Let's get it going. It's always fun to see Woodley actually pick up some good hands, too, because normally he's just trying to get in there with garbage. Wow. Looks like Alex might be putting on a play here with the pocket 6s, or at least thinking about it. Nope, he's just going to call. I think that makes the most sense.
And Adam's been getting really into these hands. He's been calling a lot of stuff. Maybe not always the best hands, but he's great action for the stream.
Yeah, I know. He's been being really active. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't remember actually playing with him. But yeah, he's definitely getting after it here. Oh my gosh. And you know, if you're going to get this active and you're going to play all these pots, I think it does make the most sense to be willing to stab more often as bluffs. Because he can't really be profitably just calling with 10-7 and hoping to hit the best hand, cold calling a 3-bet in the blinds.
I agree, yep.
So he's got to have some fight in him here, and I think this is a good board to do it because he knows Woodley is going to oversee at this board. I actually really like this play if he's going to be playing these types of hands.
And he actually gets Wolfgang to fold the best hand. He just instantly folds his pocket 6s, doesn't even think about it.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of tough for the 6s to hold on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he just ships it all in. Wow. What a play. Dude, I kind of want to call in for that play. That was such a sweet play, too.
You think so? Let me go get him.
We don't have to call him in. We don't have to call him in.
All right.
I think we'll wait for some really massive pots, and I'm sure Woodley will be on one end of those pots in the future, too. Wow.
Woodley just does not believe him at all. He says, well, let's play for all the chips. If you have it, you have it.
Yep. Dang, just hit a 5 one time against Woodley and you get his whole stack right there. Drawn almost dead. What a spot. It really seems like no one believes each other on these types of streams. It seems like no one ever has it either.
And that's what I like about the live streams. A lot of people are more willing to go after it, to get out of line more often than if you're just playing on a regular table.
Exactly.
And that makes for some really good stream and really good content.
Mm-hmm, totally. We see Adam just topped up. He added a purple chip on his stack, or maybe 2 purple chips. He's going to flop the top end of the straight draw. Wolfgang's got middle pair. Woodley's got a whole lot of nothing. So Wolfgang has this thing that he does, and he basically has these stickers, like these bang stickers, and they look like this big cartoon bang, as you can see on his man purse right there. And so if he gets in a big pot and he wins it for someone, he'll do what he calls banging them, and he'll place a giant bang sticker on them somewhere, like on their head or on their shirt or whatever. So I'm hoping we get to see Wolfgang bang a few people on this stream. Hey, Sheck Jesus says he was just watching some old Next Gen vlogs. Glad to hear that, Sheck Jesus. If you got any new challenge ideas for us, too, we've been entering kind of a new form of content. We've been doing more like Impractical Jokers-esque poker content where we're implementing some challenges into the video. So if anyone has some good challenge ideas or any good punishment ideas too, throw them out in the chat, and if we like it, we might include it in the video. Gosh, watching all them play poker is making me really fiend for playing some poker too.
That's why I like to play more than commentate. You
Yeah,
know?
me too. Me too.
It's like I have to get in there. It looks like they're having a great time, but I'm stuck in here. Not really. I'm still having a good time, but it's like just the fear of missing out, you know?
Totally. FOMO. Especially when you see just how juicy of a game it is right here. Like, we can see everyone's cards and see how often people are putting it in with nothing. Woodley flops a combo draw here.
Knock flops top 2 pair. This could get pretty big.
Surprised no one bet on that flop, and oh my gosh.
Knock's going to fill up. He's got a complete lock on this hand.
And
Nice trying to
got
get
the
some
nuts.
value. Yep. And I can't see Woodley ever folding. He's got 2 overcards. He's got a flush draw. He's got a straight draw, but he does not know that he is drawing dead right now.
And I'm glad to see that he just calls, because I wouldn't have been shocked to see him go for a raise there too, and he doesn't get there.
Luckily for him, he can easily get away from it now, unless he decides to bluff at this, and we can already see that it's definitely not going to work.
However, though, if Knock were to give him some rope here and check. Wow, he bombs it. 400. And unfortunately, Woodley just had one of those hands that's never going to pay him off. Or even think about bluffing against that size. Check out the win rate so far. See that Jay's up just over $1,000. Knocks up a good chunk. Sabin, Woodley, and Frankie are our current winners. We see Collector, yeah, he lost that massive pot if you guys were tuning in right at the start of the stream. Only 3 hands in. Collector lost a $3,000 pot versus Jay when it was an $80 straddle. Can't blame him. Money had to get in at that point, and just an unfortunate way to go. But he's back in the mix, and we'll see how they prevail.
That's just a no-brainer. I'm not playing well. Honestly, I think I'm playing pretty bored. I know, I got it. I mean, when you pull Jack.
I think I'm playing great. Well, that's not in this session.
It's not.
This session, you're playing worse than me.
Yeah, you're right.
I took inspiration from
But, like, it's better to be lucky than play good. And you know that. Oh, you did.
It is, yeah.
And I'm doing okay.
You have been pretty lucky recently. I mean, that was a really good call against me.
Yeah.
Collector says that was a really good call with the aces.
That's the spirit of Savage, and they always got to throw in a little needle, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I respect it.
I'm just going in circles in my head trying to figure it out.
Adam's going to raise it up to 50 off the $10 strike. Gets called by...
Ace, queen, and queen 6. We got 3 different queens out there right now.
And unfortunately, the ace queen's going to flop the other 2 basically dead on this board.
And that's kind of one of the benefits of just flatting ace queen pre. I know a lot of people want to 3-bet it, and I like to as well, but you dominate a lot of hands that if you 3-bet, they might fold, like ace 10, ace jack, ace 9, whatever, and you flop top pair, or like weaker queens, like queen jack, queen king, and you can get stacks in versus those hands, and people will likely bluff on a lot of boards that are really good for you, and so you might be able to catch some punts as well. Akos is asking why I'm not playing tonight. I just wasn't feeling like it. I was feeling like commentating tonight, and yeah, I wanted to give my buddy Knock a chance to play. I know he commentates almost every week. I felt like he deserved a break and deserved to get to play in the stream as well. And so I wanted to give him a chance to showcase his skills. And I always love commentating as well. So fun time. Why didn't you end up playing Tricky Fish?
Yeah, so like, if you don't know who I am, I'm Tricky Fish. I play basically almost on every single stream. But I decided I wanted to take a little break today and commentate instead of playing. Because I had a grueling 9-hour emotional session yesterday. And I was like, well, I'm just going to take a break. I'll see how the commentating goes, have a little fun here instead of battling it on the felt.
Yeah, totally. Definitely more relaxing to do so. Kind of chill out, just watch people play. I know we both want to get back out on the action, though, as well. But it's always good to see from a different perspective as well how people are playing and see if we can learn something here, too. We'll tune back into the action here as it seems like Frankie's got ace-king, goes for the 3-bet, and Woodley wakes up with a 7-deuce, so you know he's going to be battling back. And just like that, he throws in a 4-bet to 275.
And this is a cold 4-bet from the straddle. This looks insanely strong, but I don't think that Frankie's going to go anywhere, especially against Woodley.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether he proceeds with a call or a jam. Here with ace-king, I might be tempted just to call because Woodley he's not 4-betting all that often. He's probably just calling the 110 a lot with hands he wants to see flops with, like suited connectors, pairs, etc. But when he 4-bets here, he's representing a pretty strong hand. Oh my gosh, and this is going to get dangerous for Woodley because he gets a good flop to bluff on, but Frankie gets an absolute nutted flop for the ace-king. He starts it off with a check, which I am kind of surprised to see here.
And I'd kind of expect Frankie to just check this back. He's got top pair, top kicker. He's got the ace of diamonds. There's not a whole lot for him to be worried about, but it's Woodley. Woodley can have almost any 2 cards here, so decides to throw out the bet.
Yeah, he wants to start building the pot, which can't blame him here. Doesn't he need a bet too big, and he's going to get a call from so much of Woodley's range here. He might even get Woodley to spaz out and do something crazy like it looks like he's doing right here with a min-click raise to $300. I'm thinking Frankie might be thinking that they could have possibly the same hand as well, or he could be coolering a hand like ace-queen. Don't think he's going to even be considering that Woodley could have 7-deuce here.
Franklin just puts in the call. They're going to go to a turn.
Which I really like that play, just to put in the call. Keep all his worst hands and bluffs if he has any in there. And look at that. He almost locks up this board. Woodley's got 5% chance to win this hand now. What's he going to do? He's got just a pot-sized bet left in his stack. And he checks. Wow. Frankie insta checks back. We'll see if we can catch a deuce on the river. No deuce for Woodley. But the diamond draw did come in. Frankie's got that ace of diamonds, though.
Woodley's going to carve out a chunky bet on here on the river. Does not think his deuce is good. Only bets 350 of it, and
Frankie's just getting such an insane price. He actually probably is considering going all in here against any weaker aces, which I think is a pretty reasonable bet, especially holding the ace of diamonds here. Regardless, Frankie's about to scoop in a monster pot his way. What do you think you would do in this spot? You think you're going for the raise, or you think you're just going to play it safe and call here?
against certain players, I think I just snap call it off. But against people like Woodley, the people that like you obviously don't know what they have. But when your hand is this strong, you have top two pair, you block the nut flush draw. I would just get it in here.
Yeah, you just hate the value on yourself if he does happen to have a flush. But I'd also expect Woodley to bet bigger if he has the flush here, you know? So I think this is a really cool spot to go all in, or at least maybe even min-click raise it back like to 700. But he just makes a call. Nitty call, he says. He even recognizes it too. I'm sure he wanted to go all in as well, but very fair just to make the call as well. I don't think either play you can really go wrong. Okay, so Frankie was also thinking about raising.
I'm gonna throw him the knit button just to rub it in a little bit.
You can see he's blushing a little bit, getting red.
And if you guys don't know what that red button was, that is the nit button. So every dealer change tonight, they're gonna play the nit game, which is otherwise known as a stand-up game, where everyone's gonna start with the button, and if you win a hand, when you solve the button, you return the button to the dealer. And the last person to have the button in front of them has to pay everyone else $25 is what I heard. So if you're a nit and you don't win a hand, you lose $200. And that can add up in the session.
Yeah,
you know?
dude, that really can add up. I can tell you that firsthand experience there. I actually played a very similar game as to this on the Hustler stream when I played the biggest stakes in my life, 10, 20, 40, and I lost to that game twice, and I ended up losing over $1,200 just by paying out during that game because the payouts were just so massive.
Yep.
And it sucks because all I'm doing is just playing tight, and I was just unfortunate was pretty card dead that session. So I had multiple rotations in a row where I didn't win any pots.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and you just can't win a hand no matter what you do. Like,
yeah, I know, it's tough.
and like it feels even worse when you've been losing pots, and then you have to pay everyone else $25. It's brutal sometimes.
It is brutal. Bink, Nick Saban binks and nuts here. Pretty much the nuts.
He's got the straight, but unfortunately, no one else really has a hand. Woodley's got a gutter ball to a 3, but I can't see him calling 75 with that.
Yeah. He'd be probably tempted to call a smaller bet because Woodley likes to try to get through, get some crazy plays in, but 75, not a good price. Here, wait, let's try something. Try clicking on. Oh, yeah, let's go to VPIP.
Yeah.
So check out the VPIPs right now. As expected, we've got Woodley at the top of the pack with 72% VPIP. That means he's putting in money 3 out of every 4 hands pre-flop, which is pretty absurd. Adam's next up with just over 50%, and we see everyone else hovering in between 36 and 13. Mr. Regis is at 0% right now, but that's because he's not here yet. He's showing up a bit late, and I can promise you that his VPIP will be in the top at least 3 at the table by the end of the stream. He's fun to watch.
Yeah,
Great
always
action.
a fan of both playing and watching Mr. Regis play.
Yeah, he's got to be one of my favorite players to play against. It's because he's always mixing it up and showing up with some crazy hands.
Oh, and Jay's going to pick up aces for the second time this session on the button.
He's got the hot seat, clearly. And we've seen Nick Saban doesn't like to give up pre-flop very often, especially when he enters a pot. Wow. Adam looks like he wants to get in there as well with the Jack-7 offsuit in the straddle, defending his straddle. And wow, Nick Saban just gets out of the way. Adam really mixing it up here.
See if he can crack the aces. He flops a pair.
So he's got some equity.
Yep. And what's your opinion about betting aces on these types of boards? You know, you have an overpair, but the board is fairly connected. Like, a defending range can connect very hard with this type of board.
Yeah, I mean, I think my opinion is I'm just going to, on these types of boards, bet small with my whole range. Although there's a lot of 2 pairs and some straight set. Oh my gosh! Adam binks the 2 pair here. And again, like I was saying, I think I would just be betting aces on this type of board and going for value versus all sorts of pairs and straight draws that don't want to fold versus one small bet.
Jay's going to bet out 200. Do you think he goes for the check raise here?
Oh, I think he's got to. And he immediately does raise to $500. Jay snap calls. I would be thinking about it here. Like, at this point in the hand, what's he check raising that has you, like, in good... What are you in good shape versus? He just ships it without even looking at the river, it seemed.
Honestly, I think Jay gets let off the hook here. Like, the 10 brings in some straight draws and some 2-pair draws that Adam could be bluffing with. Not a great card for Jay.
Yeah, you literally can't beat a single hand here.
Yep.
Like, think of a hand he can beat. Try to think of one. Like ace 10. Ace 10 that had like the double gut shot on the turn. And then maybe like... I can't even, like a flush draw, like ace 5 of clubs.
Clubs do, but Jay does have the
clubs.
ace of clubs, so
Yeah.
it is less likely that Adam has a missed club draw, and then more likely that he's got an actual hand that beats aces here.
What sucks though is he's getting 4 to 1 on his money
He
here.
is.
He's getting such a good price. Only has to be right 20% of the time. Such a good price here, but I don't even know if he is right 20% of the time here. This is just a brutal run out for aces. You hate folding for this price, but it's just so hard to come up with
Exactly.
hands that you can even beat. You lose to even hands like 9-10, like. And he's just in utter shock at what a bad run out he's gotten. See if we can get some table talk going. He doesn't look like he wants to fold it. Will Jay find the right fold here with aces? I think motivation is key is a good point here about folding the turn. When Adam insta-raises him on the turn here, there's just, like you said, holding the ace of clubs, not a lot of bluffs he's going to have. Unless he's turning a pair and a 10 into a bluff. And all of those get there by the river. Every bluff.
Yeah, and I think the difference between a good poker player and like just the average poker player is having the discipline to let go of your strong hands, right? Mm-hmm. It's obviously very hard to fold aces.
Totally.
Sometimes you just have to fold them. You just gotta move on to the next hand. You just don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, totally. And actually, Sheck Jesus brings up a really good point too, that he does beat the 7 deuce offsuit. So if he did happen to have that type of hand, good fold from Jay. He lets it go. Mm-hmm. And Adam scoops in this pot, getting rewarded for calling the Jack 7 offsuit preflop. He's really mixing it up. I kind of want to call him in here and just ask him about his why he just went all in blind on the turn, or ask if he actually did go all in blind, if he even saw that river.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to grab him?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're bringing Adam into the booth right now. Here, close that door behind you. What's going on, Adam? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. You know, just enjoying my first live stream.
Dude, yeah, that's awesome. I think you've been playing great, giving some good action as well, and really putting players in some tough spots.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I'm known for, because I usually play here or at TCH, and so I'm kind of known for my aggressive play.
Okay.
So I bet big when I have it and bet bigger when I don't. So,
yeah.
Especially Woodley, I couldn't get 2 bluffs through at all.
Yeah, dude, and you picked really good spots against him when he had actually ace-queen offsuit that one time.
Yeah.
When you bluffed him with the 10-7.
Yeah.
He just had maybe some sort of read. He just doesn't like to let go of some hands sometimes, but I thought you put him in a great spot.
Because, it was like low cards, and, so that doesn't really hit his opening range. So
totally.
Let me try to punish him for it, and then
sure.
it worked out. So.
And we want to hear about your your Jack 7 hand that we just saw on stream. That's actually why we just called you in here.
Yeah,
so that Jack 7 hand on the river, did you shove all in blind before the card came?
Yeah, I did. Because I'm not gonna like any card, because flush shots and straight draws came out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna just ship it because I don't want to think about it.
Okay.
And so, but when I saw the 10, and so also when I saw the 10, I was like, shit, I hope he doesn't snap call me, because if he does, then I'm dead.
Yeah, totally.
But when he was taking, I knew I was good.
Yeah, and do you know what he had? Did you ever get to see?
He said he had aces.
He did have aces. So what a hand, what a spot to crack pocket aces. We think you've been playing great, and keep putting players in great spots. And welcome to Savage Sunday. Glad you're here.
All right, happy to be here.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys.
See you, Adam. That was Adam. As you guys heard, it's his first time on live stream, and he's really putting players in spots already. So glad to see he's acclimating well and really showing out for the Savage Sunday part of this stream. I love it.
Mm-hmm. While we were talking, actually, there was a pretty sizable pot between Woodley and Jay.
Oh, really?
Yes. Woodley turns the nuts, and Jay has top pair. And then Woodley fires out a chunky bet of 250 on the river. And you have to call that off the top pair. It's Woodley. Mm-hmm. He calls it off.
What was the nuts? Was it a flush, a straight?
Queen 10 on an ace king high board. He drills the gutter, drills the jack on the turn, and Jay has an ace. And now we see Jay's back into the action with 7 deuce. Gonna 3-bet immediately to 150.
I love the sizing up for some more fold equity. We see Collector picks up a hand on the button. We'll see what he wants to do here. Cold calling here is such a brutal, like, tough way to play the hand. And I think a 4-bet here would be pretty sweet. But he does make the call. Gonna force Jay to play out of position here. And it seems like every time Nick Saban's entered the pot with a bad hand, he's gotten punished for it. So he doesn't want to let this one up. He's playing the Jack-4 for the memes.
He's got decent. He's at 31%. He's not absolutely dominated by either two players.
Yeah, I know. He's got a good chance to win this one.
Ooh.
And wow, look at that. Jay gets a good spot to bluff because none of the other players flop anything. Can he fire right here in this $467 pot? Let's go, Jay.
Shows the 7 deuce. Picks up 25 from every player. That's a great feeling.
Such a great feeling, especially when you win a $450 pot and you win the 7 deuce bounty game. That is such a big like relief for your stack too. You go from like up 200 to up like 600.
Yep.
So fast there. Take a look at who's been playing aggressive here. So look at the pre-flop raising. We got Jay and Woodley up at the top, playing pretty aggressive, and we got Collector and Knock towards the bottom. You know, Knock's pretty scared, playing a pretty big game for himself, so that's probably why he's PFRing so low.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's pretty ironic that Knock's usually the one here in the booth, and he always loves to make fun of me or you while playing. Now we can do the same thing back to him.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna needle the heck out of Knock today. There's no mercy for Knock today. Anytime he makes a bad play, I think we'll call him into the booth at least once. Maybe he'll be on the good end of it though, because he is a very tough player to play against. Frankie's saying that Jay just runs so good that no one had anything when he had 7 deuce. See Collector and Woodley heads up. Woodley with the dominated king. Uh-oh, and he picks up the spade draw on a juicy board. Goes check, check again.
Ooh.
Wow. The 2 outer king to get Collector paid.
Woodley says it's going to cost me money. He's probably going to pay it off anyways.
Yeah, he already knows. He knows his king is no good. Woodley is just so good at just not only navigating post-flop, but also understanding kind of where he is within the hand. He just makes some really good reads sometimes on like whether players are weak or strong, and he can really put players in tough spots with like any type of hand just by playing his opponent rather than his actual 2 cards in his hand.
We're almost up to 150 viewers right now.
Let's go. Get active in the chat, everyone. We see Rena in the chat. We see Lego, Jojo Siwa, TLS.
Jojo is one of our friends. He's
Who?
he's one of our friends from our little poker group. He's making fun of Knock, you know.
Who, Jojo?
Yeah. Great to see the support from everyone out here.
Oh, yeah. Now it's Frankie's turn to wake up with a primo. He's got ace king, opens on the button. Oh my gosh.
Nick Saban has aces.
This is a cooler scenario. Aces versus ace king. How will it play out? See, just because a 7 deuce game is on, you give people like 12 more combos of bluffs with 7 deuce offsuit and these massive like 3, 4-bet, 5-bet pots.
Yep.
It makes ace king such a more strong of a hand. And like such a hand that I'm just always willing to play for it for $1,500.
Absolutely.
And I'm assuming here, if I had to guess, Frankie's going to put in this 4-bet to drive Knock out of the pot.
This 3-bet sizing from Nick Saban is actually kind of interesting. It's fairly small in relative to how much money is already in the pot.
Wow. Frankie is just going to call, keep the pot small, and wow, knock it's out of there.
I'm shocked to see that knock folds. He only needs to put in $135 more, and the pot's already $432.
Mm-hmm. He was getting a pretty good price, but he would have to play the whole hand out of position. He could be dominated, but look at that flop for Queen 10.
Unfortunately for Nick, Frankie does not hit an ace or a king, so it's pretty unlikely that he sticks around. He might see one street. He's got the backdoor straight draw. He's got 2 overs.
Yeah, totally. I would not be folding for that price in position. Going to make my opponent play once more out of position. And look at that turn card. If Knock had stuck around with the Queen 10 of clubs, this would have been a massive pot. And Saban reaches for chips and then goes for the pump fake check. We'll see how Frankie reacts to that, whether he thinks his ace high could be good or not. I expect him probably just to check this one back. Yeah, he goes ahead and checks. And the 7 on the river is going to have hands, even like 7 deuce now beating Frankie, so I don't imagine he's going to pay this one off. That's a horrible river card for him because, like I said before, he loses to a lot more bluffs now.
Mm-hmm. Frankie probably unhappy that he didn't 4-bet pre-flop, but as we can see, he should be very relieved that he didn't. Otherwise, he would have been in a world of hurt here.
Yeah. If he can get away from this and only lose $300 ace-king for aces, that's just a great victory for him, and he should be pretty stoked about that. But he's going to think about it here, and, you know, he is still getting a decent price. He, again, doesn't have to be right very often. He's getting, again, like almost 4-1 on his money. Good fold, Frankie. Everyone thinks he has 7 deuce, but no, he shows an ace. Frankie has to be thinking there, did I just get bluffed? If he shows that card, that means I was probably good, he says.
He doesn't need one, he's in the count. He doesn't need one, he's in the count. And he counts it.
Frankie's happy to see he was made the right move there. I'm sure when he watches this back, he'll be pretty excited to see that he had aces there and got away from it. Mighty Hammer's right. Saving the maximum is savage. I agree. It really is what distinguishes great players from good players. It's like when you can make the most when you have the good end of it and save the most when you have the bad end of it, your hourly and your win rate just goes up massively compared to other players that you're playing against. We've got that $20 straddle on, $20 double straddle. Open from Wolfgang and a call from Saban on the big blind. He's getting active.
Wolfgang gonna be kind of sneaky and check it back now. Unfortunately, Nick probably isn't going to put any more money into this pot. It does not connect with the board.
I don't know. At this point, I might be thinking king high could be good. When the second ace comes on there, yeah.
Oh, wow. He's going to snap call the bet.
It's just, it makes it so much more less likely that Wolf has a ace. And this double paired board is just going to make it really hard for king high to fold. He just beats all his bluffs.
Importantly, he beats 7 deuce here. So
Yeah, exactly.
if he puts Wolfgang on that, then he might pay off a pretty sizable bet on the river here.
Yeah. Only thing is that I expect Wolfgang to bet the flop with his bluffs too. And when he checks flop, I think he's more weighted towards some type of showdown value. So I might be less inclined. I think I would have paid off the turn, but by this river card, I'm just going to...
Yep.
Except he goes polar here. And he gets paid off by the king high, gets shown the boat. Wow, Wolfgang gets a maximum from king high. I like the play, and I like the decision to go polar on the river there. Because like I was saying, when he checks a flop, I'm thinking he has like a lot of weak aces and some pairs. And then when he like bets the turn, bets river huge, he's really only representing an ace. And you see, look, he's got the bank sticker out. Oh. Nick Saban gets banged.
Wait, that wasn't an hour. That was not an hour. That was like 15 minutes. It's 7 o'clock.
Sorry, I'm not as hot as Stacy.
How long was she in the box?
Yeah, Jojo Siwa asked in the chat, how much is the 7 deuce bounty? Yeah, and Check Jesus says 25 from each player. But as you can see from that red button in front of Wolfgang, they're also playing the knit game, which is basically the stand-up, different name for the stand-up game. And that is also $25 a person. So Wolfgang just scoops in a pretty good pot, gets the button, doesn't have to pay out the bounty. And that's just, what else can you ask for in a game of poker, you know?
Totally. Getting the maximum and then seeing that you got called off by like a bad hand like King High is such a good feeling. Like you feel like you played the hand perfectly if you get hands like that to pay you off by the river. Like if you get someone to really not believe you with that bad of a hand, essentially like just a pure bluff catcher, it's a great feeling. Oh, Nick Saban wakes up with my personal favorite hand, the 9-8 suited. If only it was spades. Probably will still hit though. We'll see. Actually, it definitely will hit. Look at that. Flops best. What'd I say? He's got both his opponents drawn. Almost dead. We've got 165 of you in the chat. And we see Arthrea coming out saying, Tricky Fish. Got some fans in the chat for Tricky Fish.
Nick Saban's just going to bet and take it down. Doesn't have to pay out the bounty.
So it looks like they're actually playing the game the opposite, where they hand them buttons once they win the pot.
Okay.
I think that's what they're doing, because I just saw the dealer hand Nick Saban a button.
Take a look at the wins. Jay, as we know, started the stream up over $1,500, but he's lost a lot of it back. And now Frankie, Knock, and Jay, pretty even about their cumulative winnings. The collector is still stuck an entire buy-in though. He's having a rough night so far, but everyone else is hovering within a couple hundred of being even. So.
And you know the best part about that is on these types of streams, all it takes is one pot to go from stuck to up a bunch of money. So you just got to be patient, wait for your spot, and really try to pile in that money against people who don't want to believe you. Folds all the way around to the big blind, Woodley. And it's going to be a big blind versus straddle hand. He's going to open this one up. And if I'm the collector here, I'm going to punish Woodley and 3-bet him here. I love this decision. Make it like 125. Oh, he pretty much min-clicks him though. Which I also don't mind. Just basically establish control of the pot. Likely are value betting with the best hand pre-flop. And he gets super outflopped though. Woodley bangs trips. Goes check though. Good discipline from Josh.
And now the collector picks up a diamond draw. Surely gonna bet this card. And let's see if Woodley raises here or just gonna flat.
Oh, wow. Woodley's just gonna call.
Just
playing it
calls.
cautiously.
Diamonds do not get there. Let's see if collector wants to turn his hand to a bluff now. Maybe he thinks king high is good, honestly, and just checks it back. No, he's gonna.
I think he might be trying to get hands like ace high and weak pairs. He bets $300, and this is actually putting Woodley in a tough spot. It looks like he's almost considering folding. Wow. Wow, seeing the hands here, it's just a completely different perspective. But I guess if you put yourself in Woodley's shoes, collector might have sold it here that he could have a diamond draw and hit it. He just bets massive on the river, pot-sized bet almost. But, I mean, Woodley under-repped his trips. I don't think you can fold at this point.
Especially
It's just got to be a
blindy
snap
blind
call.
scenario,
Yeah, completely agree. I'm shocked to see Woodley even thinking about this one. I expected him to snap call this. Given the fact that he checked all 3 streets, like, yeah, good call. Good call, Woodley.
Call.
Kind of a nit roll by Woodley. I'm just messing.
Collector, unfortunately, loses another sizable pot there.
Can't blame him for going for it, though. Can't expect the king high to be good all too often on that run out. And, I mean, you have a diamond in your hand. Okay, Frankie just called 10 under the gun. There's no way he is king deuce offsuit. The readers are definitely wrong here. I'll bet he's probably got a hand like 7 deuce offsuit or ace king or pocket kings.
You really think so? I think Frankie's just limping because he's, as you can see, he does not have one of those buttons in front of him, and neither does Nog. And it looks like they might be the last 2 players in there, so they definitely want to be getting both more pots, so they don't have to. You have to pay $175 so there's 7 people. At the
Okay,
table.
then yeah, good catch. I think you're right, because it looked like he wanted to go for that limp raise there.
Adam
and it probably
just
would've
calls.
worked.
Yeah, Adam just calls with the 7 deuce. He's trying to mix it up here.
I'll bet you though that he goes for a check raise on this board if someone does bet.
He's got a great hand. He's got backdoor diamonds. He's got a gut shot.
That queen doesn't help anyone either. See if the 7 deuce can steal it here. 2 snap folds and he gets it through with the 7 deuce. Frankie's devastated. The 7 deuce has won quite a bit when they get the option.
Like, as you can just hear Wolfgang say, he's bleeding from these 7 deuce games. You know, these 7 deuce $25 bounties add up. You can see like 6 or 7 times you have to pay it out. That's over the course of the night, it's a couple of $100 gone from your stack.
Oh, totally. It really adds up. And if you're winning on the winning side of it, it really adds up too. I've had streams where I have like $600 worth of profit just from the 7 deuce game, which is sweet. Like, it just feels like it's free money. Especially when you get good configurations with it where like it's a late position open, you get to 3-bet them and then c-bet take it down. Those types of configurations are just the best. And you see Knox loosen it up here, and I think you're right. It's him and Frankie left in the Nick game, and one of them two is going to have to pay out a fat chunk of bounties. So we'll see if one of them can win a pot soon. Knox not going to get an easy road though. He gets 3 callers. And not a good flop to bet on because we see Collector picked up 2 pair.
I think Knox just done with the hand at this point. There's too many people in the hand.
Totally.
Yep. Someone's bound to have an ace at least. You see the Collector has better than that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Surprised to see Woodley actually fold a straight draw. I think he's actually playing a lot differently than he normally does. Because watching him back a few other times, I would expect him to try to call there and maybe cooler someone.
Yep.
But he's playing better, playing smart, and trying to probably use his image to his advantage today. That's what I would be doing if I was him. He's got this image of super bluffy, super crazy. And so if he just waits and sits back and bets his good hands, like, he's going to get paid so often tonight.
What do we know? Woodley's got a good hand.
Look at that.
Raises the pocket queen. Let's see if he gets any action here. Frankie, don't think he's folding an ace. He might even 3-bet this.
Yeah, I'd probably just call. Or, I mean, I'd call because Woodley's going to defend his 3-bets way too wide. And Frankie can play pretty appropriately and out of position here versus him in a small pot heads up. Especially given Alex is a pretty tight player in the straddle closing action. He bricks, though. Jack high flop.
Now, imagine Frankie's just going to give up here. Like, although you don't want to lose a game. You don't want to also lose like thousands of dollars trying to button, you know?
Yeah, dude, I've gotten in the hole of doing that before where I have 7 deuce and it feels like sometimes I'm like, dang, I'm risking way more than the $175 in bounties I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. And like I could potentially lose way more and never pick up the bounty too, you know? Those types of situations, or like playing these stand-up games, you realize like I just put in a huge chunk of my stack with a complete airball bluff for no reason at all. I should probably just be folding, and like then you actually end up making money or saving money at least.
Exactly. What are your thoughts on the stand-up game or the 7 deuce game? Which one do you think is better?
Which one do I think is better? I think the 7 deuce game is like better in my opinion because I think it introduces like this whole concept of you add in 12 bluff combos into people's bluffs, and so you have to therefore, in order to like play correctly, call down more often, and so it just makes for like a more action stream because people can have way more bluff combos if you add in like their normal bluffs and then their 7 deuce as well. People just have to call down more often. You see a lot bigger pots, and it's always fun to see when people win it, you know.
Exactly.
But the stand-up game I also think is fun. I don't know if I have a preference between the two. Do you?
Actually, it's pretty interesting. I think I'd rather play the, I think 7 deuce is better just because it's just, yeah, like you said, there's just a lot more bluffs that people can have, which also could work in your favor because if someone doesn't believe you and thinks you have 7 deuce, they can call you off lighter. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we got a big hand brewing right here.
Yeah, so we see Nick Saban 3-bet this one pre-flop in the straddle. Woodley called, flops 2 pair versus Nick Saban's 2 overcards, straight draw, and nut flush draw. Saban bet, and Woodley min-clicked him to 350. It's actually such an interesting play.
It's already over 1,100 in the middle. Woodley is going to make it 425, it seems.
And Saban just feels like he's getting too good of a price to fold there. It's a tough spot with the ace-king high with the nut flush draw.
Does not get there, unfortunately. Woodley probably going to jam, and I don't think Nick Saban can call this off.
There he goes. And Saban folds pretty quickly. Woodley scoops in $1,000 of profit his way. And now just climbed just over $3,000. Let's take a look at all the stack sizes and the winnings. Woodley's now at the top. As you can see, all it takes is one big pot to be from middle of the pack to very top. Love to see it. And we'll look at the stack sizes too. Woodley's over $3,000 in his stack. Knocking at him, and Jay and Frankie are all hovering just over 2K. And everyone else has around their starting buy-in. I'm excited for Mr. Regis to get here. Hopefully he'll be here soon. We've got 178 people in the chat right now. Get active in the chat. Love to see you guys all there. Thank you for joining us.
No, I had a big brawl.
What do you think about telling people your hand after?
Personally, I don't. If someone wants to know my hand, maybe not like directly after the hand, but I'll tell them like a little bit later because I don't think people are gonna be exploiting me that much if they know like if I have a specific hand in this scenario, you know?
Yeah, totally. I think on the live stream it doesn't really matter because people are gonna be able to look back and see anyways. And but in game, in person, I have like a tough time with it. I normally just tell people my hand if they really want to know because I hope that they give me the same respect in return. You know, like for the vlog, sometimes for some of the like videos, I like to know what people had in some really big spots, and it always helps for content when we can kind of dictate that, you know, beforehand.
We see Nox got top pair, and as we know, he's one of the last 2 people in the Nick game. And if he can get the showdown, he is going to save himself the $175. It's at $100. I don't think he's going to get called. Unless Woodley's trying to hero here, which...
If Woodley turns his hand to a bluff here, that would be pretty sick. Nope, he folds. Says sorry to Frankie. And Frankie's going to have to pay out a hefty bounty $25 to each player, which is going to total $175 lost from his stack. Unfortunate when he loses the Nick game. It's like Christmas. Everyone's getting a $25 gift from Frankie. How nice of him. The Nick gets punished. That's what he gets for playing tight. Let's take a look at these VPIPs and see if they add up. Nope. Frankie's actually in the middle of the pack with 25%. Woodley's still creeping over 70%. We see Adams kind of slowed down. He was at over 50% earlier in the stream. Now he's at about 40. Maybe playing a little bit tighter, trying to capitalize on his image. Oh yeah, he's definitely playing tighter if he's folding the A5 suited.
Both collector and knock, yeah, rightly getting away from their hands. You know?
Yeah, good fold by both of them. Sometimes it's tempting in knock spot to want to defend again. You got a good hand, good price, but you're out of position and your hand's dominated so often.
Yep.
Can't blame him for the fold there. Motivation is Keys asking, can you match a stack there? No, this is a 1500 cap buy-in game. We've played a few other ones that are a bit bigger. Sometimes they've gotten up to match a stack, but typically we do 1500 cap, and that's just to keep it so more players are able to play. It's 500 to 1500 buy-in, and like I said before, that's to keep all the people that are Discord members, anyone that's fans and supporters of the channel, keep them with the ability to play in a reasonably staked game. Not too big, not too small though either. You can definitely still see some massive pots here, as we've already seen multiple $3,000 pots tonight, and likely that won't be the end of him.
Yep. Seen some crazy things go on here, even this capped game. But while this hand's going on, what are your thoughts of capped versus uncapped games? Which one do you prefer?
Well, I mean, I just have more experience playing like 100 to 300 big blinds deep, and that's where I feel like I've played the most. So that's where I have the most experience in. Playing like deeper than that, like 500 big blinds plus, is definitely much harder in my opinion.
I agree, yeah.
Which is why like the biggest games in the world are typically the ones that are so deep. If I had to choose, I mean, I think I play better in the cap games because I have like more knowledge of it previously, but I hope to eventually get to some more uncapped games as well, and playing some bigger games in the future. But for now, I prefer the capped games. What about you?
I 100% agree with you. Like for capped, I think uncapped gets, I just think it gets out of control sometimes. And for like people like you and me, right? We're not like the richest people, right? We play poker. We have things we do on the side, you know. And then like these cap games, I think there's like a good balance because it lets us set like a limit for how much we can win or lose, basically.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it doesn't allow someone who's like got a lot more money than us or a bigger bankroll to eventually come in and just play with just a massive stack and push us around. And it makes it hard to play against people when they just have massive stacks in front of them. But you are always playing the effective stack. And as Sassy mentioned, everything in Texas is bigger. These games get crazy. And so even in these cap games, you still see such massive stacks because just chips are flying everywhere you look.
And Nazrul asks, is this game every Sunday, and how can he put his name to play on the stream? So you want to go ahead and explain that?
Yeah, sure. So Nazrul, if you are interested in playing on this Savage Sunday stream, which is a 2-5 game, how you can join that is go to our Instagram, our Next Gen Poker Instagram. You can find that the Next Gen Poker on Instagram, and click the link in our bio. It's going to take you to a Patreon link, and through that Patreon, when you join and select any tier membership, you're going to get access to not only the live stream signups, but also a Discord channel where you can chat with us as well as some other people that are supporters of the channel, supporters of poker. There's hand review channels in there. There's just general chat in there, as well as sign up links sent every week to play on the Savage Sunday. So if you're interested in playing, check out that link in our Instagram description box and hop into some of these games. The membership is anywhere between $5 and $25 a month. Totally worth it. Just a couple big blinds a month to play in these massive games every single week. And so if you're interested, go ahead and check that one out. Wolfgang's opening it up with the King 10.
Nick Saban gonna call with my favorite hand, 7-5.
7-5's your favorite hand?
It is. Of the hearts variety, although, because I have hit in my life 2 straight flushes with that hand.
With 7-5 of hearts?
Yes.
Wow.
Such a pretty looking hand, but
You know, I've never actually hit a straight flush ever in my life.
Really?
Well, I've hit one online, but
Okay.
in live poker, I've never hit one. Have you in live poker, both of them?
I've hit many straight flushes in my days, like playing live poker. But,
What?
Yeah.
Dang. Multiple straight flushes. Have you ever hit a royal?
I've not hit a royal before.
Okay, me neither. I've hit quads a bunch of times, but other than that, no royal for me. Has anyone in the chat ever hit a royal? Let us know.
Yeah, Wolfgang's gonna flop top 2 pair, and Adam's gonna float with just his gutter.
And we'll see if he decides to maybe get tricky here on the river. He gets a good river to bluff, and look at that. He's going to lead out.
That's pretty small, though. It's like $50 or $75, and it's a pretty tough spot for Wolfgang. You know, you're getting such a 4-1 on their call, but like he does make the call. Yeah, good call, Wolfgang. Shows the 2 pair.
Yeah, it sucks. The ace is such a bad card because not only does it bring the 4-liner, but a lot of better 2 pairs get their ace-4, ace-10, like ace-queen, whatever he could possibly have. But yeah, good call. Good call by Wolfgang. Gets a good price. Can't blame him. Good call. Last royal Arthrea hit was with 10-7 offsuit. Only a 1-card royal doesn't count. It's got to be 2 in your hand. Oh, and if you don't have Instagram and you still want to join, all of those links are also in our description box in all of our YouTube videos. So you can head over to Next Gen Poker on YouTube, click in our description box on any video, and you'll find that same exact link. So head over there if you don't have Instagram, and you can join that way. These games are juicy, and definitely always a blast to play in them. Get to play with us, get to catch some punts, get to win with 7 deuce. It's a fun game. Oh yeah, we got 7 deuce for Adam or for the collector. And Woodley doesn't believe him. He's gonna make some pain for him on the button.
Gets a good flop for the pre-flop 3-better, but Woodley, sticky as he is, he might just float at least once to maybe drill that gut shot like he likes to do.
Mm-hmm. He does make the float. He's got a gut shot here. Doesn't hit it on the turn.
Now let's see if the collector has the heart in to fire another bullet. He does, and
Yeah, I definitely think that this is a board. Yeah, you're going to want to fire another bullet. You don't even have to make it too big. You can keep it as a cheap bluff. $200, great sizing. Gets it through. Not only does he scoop in a $600 pot, he scoops in $200 in bounties as well. What a great feeling.
look at everyone throwing him those green chips, you know. That's why I love the 7 deuce game.
Scorpio says he hit a royal in Chancho, Oklahoma a while back. Motivation is key. Hit a royal. Someone had a royal hit against him in Tunica. Wow, that's brutal getting one hit against you, especially if you pay him off too. That's just a sick feeling. Oh, we got Chat Pro Pez in the chat. Welcome, Pez. Glad to see you here. There is no seat open. That seat's actually reserved for Mr. Regis. He should be here any minute. He said he was going to be about an hour late to the stream. He's a little bit later than an hour, but he'll get here eventually. He's probably tied up with some Mr. Regis type stuff, you know. He's an interesting man, lives an interesting life. Probably got all of his girlfriends just like at home, been like, Mr. Regis, don't go, stay here with us. But he's like, ladies, I gotta go make money. I gotta go to work.
And here we see Frankie picking up another big hand. The ace-king suited this time. It's going to 3-bet from the big blind.
Picked up ace-king quite a bit over there.
Yes. And what would you do if you're Adam in this spot, right? You're in a blind me blind scenario. You just decides to let it go. Good
Yeah.
fold, yep. Disciplined right there.
I think that's definitely a good move. Especially because I don't think Frankie's going to be 3-betting super wide. Most of the hands he's going to choose to do that with are going to have you crushed.
Yep.
Good fold. Ooh, BF flopped a royal flush at the Bellagio. Wow, not only are you getting the pleasure to play at the Bellagio, but you also flop a royal. That's a good day right there. Willie's playing the Jack 4 offsuit for memes. We see a lot of people get attached to the Jack 4 nowadays. I've never seen that many people play that.
Unfortunately for Woody, he's going to get immediately punished here. Adam's got a real hand, and he's going to smartly let go of it pre-flop.
Good fold to Woodley. And Check Jesus is asking if I think Frankie will 3-bet the 7 deuce there as well. I think he totally will. That's a good point. But I think he's going to have a lot of strong hands to counteract that as well. Do you have any hands besides 7-5 that you just feel like always hits for you?
I like Knock, right? Knock's favorite hand is the 10-8 suited. I really like that hand as well because like you have so much like board coverage, you know.
Yeah, I love 10-8 suited.
Yep.
9-8 suited's been my favorite. I always feel like that one hits, but in order, like in terms of pairs, the pairs that flop the most sets for me, 7s, 10s, and 3s are the 3 that I feel like I hit sets with, and any other pair I'd never hit a set with, I feel like.
Yeah,
What's your favorite pocket pair?
let me think. Probably the... I think it'd just be 3s, you know? 3's like my favorite number. I just love getting in there with the 3s. Feels so good to hit a set, but can't always be that lucky, you know? And Nick Saban's going to float here with just the queen high. Collector bets 25 on the flop. Nick Saban floats with the queen high. Let's see what the collector does here now.
Looks like he's going to try to start turning his 4s into a bluff. But little does he know, he had the best hand by a mile. Gets it through.
A lot of people in chat saying that pocket 7s is their favorite pocket pair.
Pocket 7s, yeah. I also do like pocket 8s, don't get me wrong, but yeah, pocket 7s does feel like it always hits. Pocket 7s, pocket 3s just smack sets like crazy. Like, look at that last flop, 7 on the flop. Shocker? No. And it's just so sneaky. Sets are like my favorite hand to make by far. They're so sneaky, and if you can hit a bunch of them in a session, like that's a game-changing session for you. Especially in a good game. Because like in some games, especially in the capped games, someone flops top pair and they're just willing to get it in and play for it all, you know? Woodley flops best here against Wolfgang's ace-10. Check on the flop.
Willie turns 2 pair, yeah. And then I don't think Wolfgang's gonna fold just quite yet, you know.
No, totally
Puts
not.
in the call, he's in position.
And he's probably going to pay him off on the river, too. If I was Woodley, I'd fire big here. Like $200. Checks it. And now it's on a Wolf King to decide whether he wants to go for thin value here or not. And if I'm him, I'm kind of tempted to go for thin value. You know, like 40, $60, somewhere around that range. You think you would bet in this spot?
I would honestly check it back, but he bets 1/5 pot. Looks like $30. Going to get immediately raised. See, if you get raised in here, it just puts you in like a miserable spot, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's only 65 more, but like...
I'm just like not giving Woodley enough credit here in these spots to check raise the river with good hands.
Yep.
I'm just going to probably call here with this. He's not repping much. I figure Woodley just bets off again on the river, but maybe because Alex went with such a small sizing, that allows Woodley to... Maybe that allows Woodley to now check raise for value with a queen or with a king.
Yep. Pays it off. Can't really blame the guy.
Gets shown the bad news. Ends up losing $100 more than he had to, but can't blame him for going for some thin value there against a loose player at the table.
Let's take a look at the stack sizes one more time. You know, everyone's about where they were last time. We haven't seen that many crazy huge pots since then. And I think they're talking about they're going to do another one of the knit games because they're doing it on every dealer change. So it's another $175 someone's going to have to lose.
They're going to play the knit game once more right now?
I think they said for every dealer change.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Frankie wakes up to the king queen, opens it up, and immediately gets ISO'd by knock on the button. I like that play from knock, especially in a multiple blind game, like where there's straddles and stuff, so you knock out all the people behind you and guarantee likely playing a heads up pot. Or you just collect all the money pre-flop too. It's not a bad idea here with 8 high as well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because these two are the two players that were the last two in the last stand-up game.
Mm-hmm.
And now one of them's going to sit down immediately. Frankie flops the best one. Knock actually flops a gut shot, so I expect him to keep firing.
Yeah, no spades out there, though, and this board's going to be really good for Frankie's like continuing range as well. But he's going to bet it, and he bets pretty big, $125.
I actually really like this bet because, one, Frankie's probably folding out a lot of his hands that don't connect, and two, it lets him get basically a free card on the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So although Frankie improves to 2-pair, Knock's just going to check it back immediately, take the river card.
Yeah, that's a good check. I really would have expected Knock to try to barrel on this type of card because it's good for him. But that's good discipline. He has like the worst hand he'll ever have.
Yep. Frankie's gonna check, let Knock hang himself, and he's gonna go for it, yeah.
I love the check here by Frankie, and then just snap this off. Potentially even put in a raise. Yeah, I think I'm actually going for a raise here the more that I think about it. Maybe even like a min-click raise, like something like 450. What do you think?
Especially that the stand-up game is currently going on, I'd raise probably even more because I don't think, especially like with the dynamics, I don't think Knock is folding a king.
Mm-hmm.
He might even not fold a queen on this type of board. So I think Frankie just has a lot of bluffs in this spot.
Yeah.
And just like marginal, like a one pair of hands that he might turn into a bluff. So
yeah, and Knock's gonna check back some hands like King Jack, maybe even Ace King on this turn card, for some pot control. So I definitely do like going for a raise here. And if you raise bigger, that also makes it seem like you could have some more bluffs on your hand too. Good raise, Frankie. What's he make it? Let's see what sizing he goes with. $600 and knock snap folds. Gets it through. Nice hand to Frank. Oh, and he's got a show here.
Shows the 2 pair. Picks up the knit button. Picks up $450 in profit right there.
Mm-hmm. Shows it was no bluff. Knoxville like, dang, I just punted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what a needle from Frankie. Frankie saying he calls wider pre-flop versus worse players. I love the needling between Frank and Knox, seeing them battle.
Yep, that's Savage Sunday for you. Frankie's gonna get back right back into the action with another good hand, Ace Jack offsuit. He's gonna 3-bet the early position open.
Do you think that it's kind of telling when people 3-bet super small like that? I feel like I hardly ever see someone wake up with a strong hand when they're 3-betting this this size, like 30 to 75. I feel like that's hardly ever like a really strong hand, and it's more just a hand that wants to get heads up in position.
Absolutely. But yeah, Nick Saban's gonna cold 4-bet jam for his entire $800 stack. Now,
Wow.
Frankie is in a tough spot. He doesn't know that he has the best hand, but it's just so hard to make this call with Ace Jack, you know?
Yeah. And like I said, Nick Saban might have picked up on that this sizing seems weak and decided just to go for max punishment here. If he wins this pot pre-flop, he makes like over $100 and saves money from the stand-up game. But Frankie's got to be thinking that he could be up against 7 deuce here.
Mm-hmm.
Little does he know he's got him absolutely dominated here. We're about to break 200 viewers in the chat. Love to see it. Love the viewership. Get active in the chat. Let's get over the 200 mark. Share the stream with some friends. Give a like to the stream. Helps out the channel a ton. Help show these streams to more people like you guys, like yourselves, and potentially more people that might want to get involved in some of these cash games and live streams at Poker House Dallas. So share the stream with the friends. Drop a like. It would mean a ton to us here over at Poker House Dallas. And what will Frankie do here with the Ace Jack? He seems curious.
Nick Saban's asking me what you got here.
Oh, yeah. Let's listen to some table talk. Gives him one last look. Looks like he's kissing the cards goodbye. But he sets him back down. Oh, he's picking up a chip. That's the call-in chip right there. Will he toss it in? What do you think, Evan? Oh, it looks like he wants to flick it in so bad.
Makes the fold. He's in agony. Gets shown the ace-10 offsuit. But you can't really fault the guy. He has $75 invested. He has to put in another $700. Like, most of the time, you're probably just not in great shape.
Yeah, totally. And I'm thinking maybe we call Frank into the booth there and ask him just kind of his opinions. I want to get as many people as we can in here. And also, it'd be great to showcase just another Next Gen member on the live stream real quick. Let's pull him in real quick. Give him a little needle, too. Let's head to the camera here as we bring in my buddy, my business partner, Frankie from Next Gen Poker.
I know this is a bad
Frankie, how you doing, man? How you think you're playing so far?
Am I on? Okay, yeah. I mean, I think I'm playing all right. I've had a couple tough decisions. I think I know why you guys are calling me in.
Yeah, no, I think you've been playing great. You've been making a lot of really good decisions. I know if you had that ace king hand, he had pocket aces that hand, so you played that hand perfectly.
Wow, let's go.
Saved the maximum. That was a great play, but we're calling you in here to ask about that ace jack hand. You really looked like you were stuck between calling or folding there.
I literally had the calling chip in, and every single inch of my body was telling me to call, and especially it's just like, I think this player is just going to overplay in the stand-up game. I just can look at him. I can just tell that people just push their stack all in with bad hands all the time. But he actually said something on the table that really changed my decision.
Okay.
He goes, I honestly don't have 7 deuce. He goes, I honestly don't have 7 deuce. And based on the way he said it, I really believed him. I know you shouldn't believe people, but I was like, dang it, now I could take him off one of the primo hands you want him to have.
Totally.
You want him to have 7 deuce here, obviously, really, really badly. As we see Woodley 4-betting with 8-6 offsuit.
Yeah, this has been a good game.
This game is so good.
Yeah, Woodley's been getting after it tonight. He's been playing really well, though. Actually, a little bit more cautiously than you'd think. But yeah, we thought you played great. I was talking
so
between you
close.
pick up your hand like you're looking at it, like you're about to throw it away, kiss the cards, Goooo, then you pick up the chip, and then you put the chip back down. I was rooting for a call, but that's a really tough spot.
Yeah, if it was suited, I'm snapping. Seriously, I'm always calling with suited, but I'm just worried about ace queen, ace king.
Yeah, it was a weird play. You'd expect him to go for an actual reasonable 4-bet sizing with most of his best hands.
Yeah,
you know?
I take him off aces, kings, and queens, the big hands, because I think you just 3-bet.
Totally. But if you're up against a hand like jacks, that just sucks.
I know.
Some tough spots. But yeah, think you've been playing great. Yeah. Thanks for coming in the
Yeah,
booth.
thank you guys. Hopefully we can catch him a couple more punts before the end of the stream.
Yeah,
Sure.
good luck.
out there. Yep. Well, yeah, but we already have another pretty big pot brewing. Woodley's gonna cold 4-bet the ace 8-6 offsuit, and Jay's gonna defend the ace 10 suited. And that's a very interesting flop, actually. The 3 queens on the flop.
Yeah, and Woodley decides to start this one off with a check, which I would not have expected, but he might actually do this with quads too. He checks, J-bet small, and turns a jack after Woodley floats a flop, and he bets 250 now. Woodley's got to be tempted to go for it here.
Yeah, another small bet. Do you think this screams weakness, or basically I'm trying to get called by a worse hand if I have aces or kings here?
Yeah, I don't know how often Jay's going to have aces or kings, but
Woodley lets it go, yep.
you hate to see that if you're Woodley, that you just got called with your 4-bet by ace 10 and then pretty much bluffed off the pot even though you had the best hand. If he would have just bet flop, bet turn, he would have won the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So we actually forgot to switch the overlay over, so it's probably a little hard to see that. Our apologies. But yeah, we are back to the action on the felt again.
And look at that. We've got 213 people in the chat. Love to see the viewership slowly creep up throughout the stream. Hopefully we'll be able to break 250 by the end of the chat, by the end of the stream. Would love to see it. And yeah, that's a tough spot for Woodley there. I'd be tempted, after he's already put in so much money and the bet's so small by Jay, if he just raises it and just goes for maybe the 600, you don't risk your whole stack. But if it's such a cheap bluff compared to the size of the pot, or because you check the J twice, he can still have some bluffs in his range. But he's prevailing. He's not giving up just yet. And Wolfgang's got an interesting spot here where he might be considering going for the 4-bet. But he's just going to call. Let knock 3-bet him in position.
All right, no one really connects too hard with the board. They're all going to check it around. Wolfgang does have that gut shot, but it does turn the best hand.
He's got to love to see that card. But I like starting this one off with a check again. Knock's going to check in between 2 players.
Woodley's going to go for it now. He's got that gut shot to a jack. He's got 1 over card. You know, maybe he can steal it, but Wolfgang not going anywhere. Going to call.
Goes check, check on the river, and Wolf is going to take in this $500 pot his way. Unfortunately, things aren't going Woodley's way right now. I'm hoping that we can see him get some good pots going in the future.
There's one more thing I want to bring up. We're a little over halfway into the stream. Do you want to talk about the giveaway we're doing today?
Yeah, sure. So we are going to be giving away a Poker House hoodie. And I think right now is probably a pretty good time to start doing it. We'll pick a hand, maybe a few hands from now. And whatever hand we choose, before the hand begins, throw out your guess in the chat. Everyone gets one vote for the overall pot size that you think the pot will get to. Whoever is closest will win a Poker House hoodie, either shipped to you or delivered locally, depending on your whereabouts and if you are local to the stream or not. But yeah, get ready for that. We'll do that in a few hands here. Maybe we'll do it by, let's say, hand number 55.
Sounds good.
All right, hand number 55. Throw out your guesses in the chat. Like I said, only one vote per person in the chat. Whoever is closest is going to win a Poker House hoodie. So guess how big the pot size will be on hand 55. Will it be just a small one where it folds around? Unlikely. Will it be a massive one or a cooler, multiple $1,000 pot? Who knows? Throw out your guesses right now. We see Jay open it up with the pocket tens and the hijack. And Adam's going to come in for the squeeze and the small blind with ace-9 offsuit. He doesn't get it through. Jay's going to give him some action, and they're off to a flop heads up. Let's wait as the graphics catch up, but it was a low card paired board. I think 2 5s and a 6 out there. And it is just heads up. Jay says he can't get a read on Adam. He can't even see him because of the mask and the hat. Checks it back with his pocket tens. No help on the river for Adam. Will he stab here with his ace high? Nope, he shuts it down. And what do you think you do here if you're Jay? Do you go for some value?
I'm not opposed to going for thin value versus hands like 8s, 9s, maybe even non-believing ace highs, but checking back's just fine. You know, I want to take the showdown value. Still scoops a $600 pot.
Yeah, getting check raise would just be a brutal, brutal spot. Not too many hands you're trying to get value from. If you do value bet, I think that it would make most sense to go super, super small. Try to induce a bluff raise, and you just have to be comfortable calling off at that point. But even a bet of like $100, like a 6 pot, see if you can get Adam to spaz.
Yep.
I think that would be a pretty cool play. And it looks like we're going to have a new player joining us pretty soon. I believe his name is going to be Jason. It doesn't look like Mr. Regis. It's going to be who? Snoopy. Jason, also known as Snoopy. He's going to be joining us for the stream. It doesn't look like Mr. Regis, unfortunately. He's going to be able to make it tonight. His girlfriends at home were keeping him company and didn't want him to leave, so understandable from him.
All right, Jay's going to open up to 75 off a double straddle. King, queen offsuit gets called by 8 high and 7 high, flops the best hand.
No one's got much going on here. Jay shows he had the goods. Takes on the pot. And is up again over $3,000 in his stack. take a look at the stack sizes. Not too much has changed, honestly. Jay still got over $3,000, and everyone else is kind of hovering in between the $2,500 to $800 mark. Unfortunately, it looks like Woodley has gone below the 70% VPIP mark, but he's still crushing it, playing 2/3 of hands, entering 2 out of every 3 pots. Pretty impressive and tough to play against for sure. All right, we've got some guesses in the chat for the pot size. Like I said, it's going to be hand number 55, so 4 hands from now. It can be any amount, but whoever is going to be closest is going to win a hoodie, a Poker House hoodie of their choice, color and size. So good luck to everyone. If I had to guess, my guess would be, I'm going to throw it out in the chat, but I'm going to guess like 450.
All right, I'm gonna one up you. I'll say 451.
Don't
just so you can't get
bogus.
it. Yeah, Adam's gonna get really creative. He's gonna 3-bet the 10-3 offsuit. Gets Woodley defends with the 4-3 suited. And 10-3
Wow.
is good, yeah.
I'd love to see Adam mixing it up, especially your first time on the stream. Like, a lot of times your first time on the stream might be a little bit timid, you know, but Adam's not at all. He's really gunslinging out there. I respect it. As you can see, I commented on the live stream 451.
All right. Someone put 452 just so he's no chance of winning.
No one
it.
better put 450.
He does not need any more Poker House.
Yeah, I need some
goodies.
merch. Through ace to a flop. Woodley as the aggressor. Frankie flops best here with his pair of queens.
Woodley's not going to slow down at all. Frankie's going to make the call, and then this could get interesting. Oh, that's a great card for Frankie on the turn.
I think Woodley knows that as well. Oh, but he's not going to stop betting. He might even be trying to get worse to call, like some draws. Betting $75. He might think his ace high is good sometimes. And if he maintains control of the pot, Frankie might check back. And look at that. He rivers a great card just to check back and try to win this pot. Get the showdown. But what will he do here?
He's going to bet it.
That's super tiny yet again. 1/3 pot. And Frankie's got an easy, straightforward call. He hears the good news when Woodley says, I got a 4. Frankie has that's a pretty easily played hand right there. Call flop, comfortably call turn, call river. No real tough decisions.
Yeah, I would have been interested to see if Woodley bet like pot or over pot. Then Frankie is in a miserable spot in that play, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, with as played, easy call, easy decisions, you know.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense for Woodley just to check or bomb that river. He blocks boats when he hits the 4, but I mean, yeah, if you're gonna represent it, let's represent like either monster or nothing, or just check it back and try to win his showdown. Beats all his draws, any ace highs that had him beat previously. And I believe this is hand number 53, so 2 more hands before the giveaway. Don't forget to lock in your votes. Whoever is closest to the pot size on hand number 55 in the chat will win a free Poker House hoodie shipped to them or delivered locally. Got 210 people in the chat, and Woodley wakes up with ace king.
It looks like the triple straddle is on. Knox just going to limp from the button. Woodley's going to immediately punish that. It makes it 210 to go with the ace king offsuits.
And I actually think that's a pretty interesting play, just limping there. If you get 3-bet, you hate your life. And if you don't, you get a chance to play in position in a pretty big pot. And also, you get a chance to win the stand-up game. Because I know Knox left in that game. He probably wants to win a pot soon. Looks like we got a new dealer change now.
I think they might be doing dealer changes at every 30 minutes instead of every hour like they used to. So
Yeah, you might be right.
Yep.
We have the potential now to see an over $6,000 pot between Jay and Frankie if they do get into it. Got 2 stacks that are near the $3,000 mark. Would be sweet to see a massive pot like that on stream. We're rooting for some Savage plays here on Savage Sunday. Next Gen Poker's hosted 2-5 live stream. It's a $1,500 cap, but as you can see, stacks get big and chips start flying. So this will be a good one.
Yeah, this cumulative winnings chart is actually pretty interesting. Jay and Frankie up a good chunk, knocks up a little bit, but everyone else is stuck on the day, you know?
Yeah. It is always interesting to see those streams where it seems like all the money is flowing towards 1 or 2 people and everyone else is losing on the stream. Looks like there was some sort of misdeal right there, so we're still on hand number 54. One more, and then we've got that giveaway coming up.
Yeah, I think we got confirmation that Regis will not be coming today, and then we're gonna fill his seat with another action player. His name is Snoopy. We play with him. I played with him quite a few times here at Poker House. I think he's gonna be a great addition to the stream.
Yeah, he's a good player. I've played against him a couple times before. Definitely a tough player to play against. I'll be interested to actually get to see his hands because most of the time that I've played against him, we haven't gone to showdown very often.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is one good perk about being commentator, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've always viewed him as a really tight, aggressive player, and it'll be interesting to see if that's confirmed or not. Shriram's asking if Snoopy's an action player or not. I wouldn't necessarily describe him as an action player. I describe him as a pretty good player.
I have seen him pull some like massive bluffs before.
Really?
So yeah, I think he'd fit right in with this stream.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited to see that for sure. We got another flop where no one flops anything. And pretty much anyone that breathes on the pot is going to take this one down. Woodley's got some backdoor draws. Nothing else really going on for anyone. Wolf is going to stab at it, though, and interestingly enough, we get 2 floats from a king high and a 7 high.
All 3 of them call, so...
Oh, and Woodley called as well. Wow.
Going 4 ways to the flop.
And I was totally wrong that if anyone breathed on the pot, they would win. What do I know?
Picks up an open-ender, so I think he's going to be firing in this pot. If someone bets, he's going to be raising.
Yeah, Wolfgang actually does pick up a pretty good card to continue on, but once you get 3 calls, I'm just shutting down here with the queen high. And he does check, looking for a 10. Let's see what this river is.
And there we go, Snoopy sitting down in the 1C, filling the place of Mr. Regis.
And look at that. Woodley binks the nuts on the river. He bets 205. Oh, and it looks like Adam actually had ace-4. I saw his hand there on the stream. He didn't have 7-4. The action tracker must have picked it up wrong.
Okay.
He had an ace in his hand. That makes more sense.
That does, yeah.
I wonder what the collector had then if his king 6 reader might have been off too, because neither of those hands make much sense. And the hand of the night right now, hand number 55, is coming up right now. So make sure to lock in your votes. Any votes after the hand begins will not be counted. We'll be watching the chat. So throw in some votes right now for the pot size to potentially win a Poker House hoodie right now before hand 55 begins. Who's ever closest will win a Poker House hoodie.
And speaking of chat, we've got 223 viewers right now. That's smashing it, guys.
Yeah, heck yeah. Make sure to drop a like on the stream. Share it with some friends. Helps out the channel a ton. Throw out your votes right now if you haven't yet.
All right, and I think we're going to lock the guesses right about
Yep.
now.
Guesses are locked. Hand 55 has begun. And it starts off with Frankie opening an early position to 30. We don't see the rest of the graphics of what's going on, so we'll just have to wait and see. He's got ace jack. Gets a bunch of calls, and then it looks like Adam squeezes in the straddle to 125 with 6-4 offsuit. He's really getting after it, and I think if players got to see his hands more often, they would know. But I don't know if people know yet, and it looks like Frankie might be going in for the 4-bet.
Frankie's not going to have any of that. He knows that Adam's been kind of wild tonight, you know. And I think ace jack is a great hand to 4-bet, put him to the test, you know.
Mm-hmm. So Frankie 4-bets here. What's officially in the pot is actually $200 less than this if Adam does fold here. But he makes a call. Oh my gosh, this pot is massive already. $715 in the pot already for hand number 55. It was locked after XX row at 815, 1265. He's the last guess. Frankie flops best here, but they both flop a pair. Oh my gosh.
Adam's going to rip it. Wow.
Frankie has about the best flop he could ask for here. He loses to ace 10, pocket 10s. Yeah, he's got to make the call.
Yep.
I love the call there. Without even thinking about it, too.
Going one time only for Max Payne.
And anyone who would have guessed $2,753 would have been correct. Frankie hits trips, scoops in this massive pot. Let's go, Frankster. All right, so we're locked at $2,753 as a final answer. Was anyone even close to that? Because that's just a huge pot. Looks like the biggest guess is probably going to win. That's what I'm assuming.
Got 1,100 right here.
1125.
Yep.
Let's scroll up a little bit more, see if we got anyone else. Oh, there's a 1395.
Oh, there is from Jeremy Caruso.
Let's keep scrolling up. Let's see.
Oh, CM
2750. It's 2753. That has to be the best. Whoever CM is, you smacked it right on the money.
Wow.
Let's see if we got anyone else remotely close. CM. Okay, I think that's it.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, CM just smacked it. He guessed 2750. The pot was 2753. And CM is going to be the winner tonight of our giveaway for the Poker House hoodie. CM, if you are in the chat right now, it seems like you're active. Make sure to DM Poker House Dallas on Instagram if you get a chance. DM and say that you won the challenge, and we'll make sure to have a hoodie shipped your way. Or if you're local, you can come pick it up. Wow, what a guess there. Mm-hmm. Drilled it almost right on the money, $3 off. That's crazy. And who would have thought that the hand we do the giveaway, it's a 3K pot almost.
Yeah, most of the guesses I think were in the 3-digit mark.
Yeah.
So just to see an almost $3,000 pot. That just proves how good this game is. You know, there's tons of action. You're getting called by 6-4 offsuit. You know, great game, great time for the players here.
Yeah, wow, what a spot for Frankie there. Just gets it shipped in for him. I mean, you get like the best flop you could ask for with ace jack there when you're going to 4-bet.
On the very next hand, Frankie's got ace king again and gets 3-bet again by the 3-4 suited.
And gets a cold call in between, so he's definitely going to be going in for this 4-bet here. 2 4-bets back to back is going to look pretty nutty. Adam just rebought, and I'm assuming he wants to get Frankie back, so he's going to make the call here at 10-9 offsuit and go to work out of position versus Frankie in a 4-bet pot. Let's see what happens.
Neither player makes a pair, but Adam does pick up a gut shot straight draw. So I doubt he's going to fold the flop to 1-bet. See how Frankie plays this.
Yeah, if he's calling a 4-bet with 10-9, he's definitely not folding for a single bet with a gut shot straight draw. All right, CM, if you've only got Twitter, DM Poker House on Twitter. However you can, let us know what form of communication you're going to use, and we'll make sure to get that hoodie to you.
Frankie's going to bet a quarter pot. Gets snap called by the gut shot.
I like the bet size. Gets worse to call. Yeah, it keeps in hands that you still have beat with ace high. It's a great card just to check back on. Get closer to showdown.
Does indeed check it back. Let's see what Adam decides to do here on the river. Oh, that's...
Bink.
Yep.
It's got to be a great card for Frankie. He's got to be feeling good, and Adam might be tempted to bluff this card because the flush completes, but this hand is just going to smash almost all of Frankie's hands,
And he's
especially
gonna go
hands he
for
plays
it.
this way. He's going to go for it. Oh my gosh,
That is
massive
a big
bet.
bet. That purple chip is worth $500, guys.
He bets $600, and Frankie, after getting one of the best cards, he immediately calls.
No, I think Frankie
Oh.
goes all in, yeah. Obviously, Adam cannot call that with just the 10 high. Let's it go.
Wow.
Frankie scoops another $1,000 into his stack. And then
Wow. Frankie just got pretty much handed like $2,500 from Adam in the past
sitting
2
in a
hands.
2-5 game with over $5,000 in his stack.
Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Just 2 hands can completely change the game for you. Frankie went from up like 1,200 up 3,800 in just 2 hands. That's all it takes. He's playing great. Great call. And I love the hands he's got.
And Darren, I saw your message. Shout out to K Jens. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but thanks for watching the stream. Thanks for coming out and supporting us.
I don't know if I would have jammed there if I was Frankie. I think I might have just snap called. I guess he's only got 500 behind, but is he really repping an ace when he overbets a pot on the river? He's repping like a 6 and a flush or nothing.
Honestly, I can see both ways of either just calling or raising the river. I think Frankie played it absolutely fine.
Yeah, totally. Oh, Wolfgang, bang, has aces. See how he decides to play this. See if he can get the max.
And Wolfgang's been pretty quiet tonight, so
Yeah.
happy to see he's waking up with the hand.
Oh, Jace got the hand to 3-bet with king, queen of diamonds. And Adam is just, looks like he might be steaming right now. He cold calls yet again in the blinds. Wolfgang goes in for that 4-bet to 225. Pretty quickly, too.
I wouldn't mind Jay just flatting this. He's in position. It's only 150 more to call. They've got $1,500 left to play with, you know. Adam gets out of the way, surprisingly, actually.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising. He's been given a lot of action this stream. Hopefully he can just pick up a hand soon because Adam is going to get paid with his image right now. After showing down the 6-4 earlier versus Frankie and having a snap fold out of their hand, he's going to get paid if he can make a good hand.
Fortunately for Wolfgang, he gets way too good of a flop. He's got top set. The board is not very connected at all.
It's kind of tough with aces when he flop
Yep.
top set because you're like, well, dang, what do I even get value from if I bet? Like, what am I going for here? But that ace of diamonds is actually a key card to have it on the flop because it gives Jay a backdoor royal flush draw.
Yeah, I'd like to see Wolfgang just check it. I don't see any sense in betting here. It's nothing to really be worried about.
Yeah, I also think betting super small makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like exactly like he's doing. But Jay snap folds for 120. It's just going to make you a lot tougher of an opponent to play against if you're betting just super small on those types of boards in 4-bet pots. I can't blame him. When you check there, I don't know. You give him a chance to catch up. Wolfgang shouting out Chicago right now. Both of our hometowns. I actually see him on like winter breaks and spring breaks when I've gone home for college and he's back home. We've gone and played poker together a few times. Filmed some videos together as well. But yeah, he's another Chicago boy. Repping Chi-Town. Love to see it.
I heard that Wolfgang is moving to Dallas for 6 months, right?
Yeah, he actually just moved here. I think he moved somewhere downtown or in uptown, somewhere around that area. But pretty exciting stuff that he just moved into this area. So he'll be playing a lot more in the Dallas area. Expect to see him on some Poker House streams. Maybe even in Poker House playing some cash games as well. But yeah, super exciting that he's back in town playing here. I know he loves Texas, and poker doesn't get much better than the Texas scene anyways.
Exactly.
I know nothing about solvers, man. I'm the least studied poker player on the table. Take 5 seconds. I don't know anything about poker, okay?
Jay saying he knows nothing about poker.
I've never.
Let's see what they're saying.
I hope you're enjoying your first stream. I hope you're enjoying your first stream. It's been fun? Yeah, nice.
Ooh, this is a flop.
Yeah, this is a very juicy flop. Got top pair, top kicker for collector.
Nick Saban's got a straight flush draw.
Wow.
He's not going anywhere. Gotta check his hand one more time. He goes all in. Wow. For 700. And I don't see the collector ever folding here.
No. But it's a straight flip. You actually see that Nick Saban's ahead,
Wha-
which is shocking. And I'm wondering if that takes into consideration like card removal and stuff. Oh, and never mind. He's not ahead. I was looking
He's
at
not,
the wrong
but it
person.
is a flip.
It is a flip.
So-
But you see, if he had all of his outs, you see that some of the sevens and 3 of the clubs are dead.
Yep.
If he had all of his outs, he'd actually be a favorite here.
Collector understandably makes the call. See how many times they want to run it.
Oh! Collector picks up outs, though. Oh, I
Does
thought
not
that was a
get there.
king. I thought that was a king of spades.
Run it one time, and Nick Saban gets the full double up with 8-5 of clubs.
Love to see. He's been kind of having a rough go at it, not really picking up many cards. Unfortunately, neither has a collector, so good hand, Nick Saban, though. Love to play. Straight flush draw, you just got so many outs.
Yep.
Just such a ship it in there, go for max fold equity. 7 of clubs was dead, unfortunately, as I said in the chat. No straight flush potential, unfortunately.
And Logan's asking, Chad, where do you play poker in Chicago, Jello?
In Chicago, I've played at a few places. I just checked out Rivers. They just opened up a poker room in the casino there, which I didn't used to have. It's pretty cool. Good action there, but I've normally played at this place called Rockford Charitable Games.
Okay.
Like every week, they'll host it at a different location. They'll host a few cash games and small tournaments. in like a banquet hall of like a hotel typically. And portions of the rake that they take goes to charity. That's how it's able to be legal there.
Wow.
And so it's pretty cool. Good community there. It's always fun games. Me and Alex have gone and played there a couple times. And they're typically about like 15 or 20 minutes away from my house, which is nice. And always pretty fun games. Yeah, definitely recommend checking it out if you're in the Chicago area. Search up like RCG Poker, something along those lines, and it should probably come up. But also check out Rivers. Good place. The action was a little slower there, though, as you'd expect in a casino, you know. Casino games always seem to be a little bit slower than like poker-focused rooms.
Getting active in the pots and losing it, you know, you're not even like getting in there and losing.
Try my best to not lose. How would you do that? Alright, now look at mine, tell me if I should go.
The software is taking a little bit to catch up, but I think I just heard that Adam is all in the 9 seat. So let's see what he's got. He's got pocket 2s.
Wow.
And
it looks like there's an $80 straddle on.
He goes all in for $1,000.
Frankie's got ace jack. Looks like he's going to give him some action back. He's taken Adam for quite a bit of money so far and decides to make the call here with ace jack, figuring he could be ahead of some of his hands as well. Oh my gosh.
Jay's got pocket king.
Jay has been so lucky in these $80 straddle hands.
And if you didn't see, Jay just squirmed in his chair. He sat straight up. So
yeah, that's a good fold by him. And wow, Jay ships it.
$3,000, and I cannot see Frankie calling this bet.
Oh, Frankie's got to hate this spot. He just put in $1,000, and then now is like, well, shit, I got to fold. What a spot. And Frankie folds after throwing in $1,000 pre-flop. Such an agonizing spot, especially when you've been having such a good session. Just, you feel like you can't lose, and like you put 1,000 in, then all of a sudden, like,
everyone's calling for a deuce. Jay's
got some haters.
Targeted, yep.
They run it twice. Luke does not tell Katie, so there's going to be a little bit of confusion here.
Okay. All right, they are running it twice here.
If you guys weren't aware, there was an ace on that first flop, and Frankie, he does not look very happy right now. He's like, if I won that pot, that would have been $7,000 shipped right to my stack.
Oh, was there an ace on the flop?
There was an ace high board.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Wow, dude.
Still $3,300 pot in this game.
You hear everyone rooting for that deuce. Can he find it? No deuce on the flop, but he's got 2 cards left. Oh. Oh! All the cards around the deuce, but Jay is going to scoop in another massive pot his way, and he just broke the $5,000 mark. Looks like that's going to end the stream for Adam. Adam, great playing with you. You really brought the action. Put players in some really tough spots. And unfortunately, it just didn't go his way tonight. Thank you for coming, Adam. Great playing. And it looks like we're going to have a new player join the stream, which is going to be my good buddy, Daryl. He's a great action player, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy watching him play. No deuce for Adam. What do you think about Frankie's spot, just calling the $1,000 rather than re-raising and isolating?
I really like the $1,000 just call it right, because, like, he still has to get through, I think, what, 3 or 4 players? Ace Jack is not really a hand you want to pile in $3,000 with, or $5,000.
Yeah.
So I think he played it fine. He gets raised, then I think it's just an easy fold. You just have to give up the $1,000, just find a better spot, you know.
It just sucks. It's so many big blinds too. Like even $80 jam. I mean, that's still a like 12 to 13 big blind jam by Adam. And he can be so wide. I think Ace Jack's well ahead of it. But
Yeah.
when there's just so many, like there's 3 other opponents behind you, or 4 actually opponents behind him, because Jay was closing action there. Or no, sorry, he had 5 other players behind him.
He did, yeah.
I think folding Ace Jack there is actually fine if you can't rip it. Look at that. We see Snoopy already coming in for the action. King 6 of hearts in the cutoff, opening it up to $65. He gets only 1 customer, the collector in the 8 seat, and they're off to a flop heads up. Wow, good flop for Snoopy. Picking up the nut flush draw. Collector's got nothing. Think we can expect a small bet and just a snap fold. And that's exactly what we get.
Let's go over the stack sizes one more time. Frankie and Jay, both with over $4,000 in their stack. Both having a great night. And everyone else about within the $2,000 range, a little more, a little less. And let's go over the wins. Jay and Frankie each up piles today, although only says Nick Saban the collector are down right now. Adam, he had a rough night. He was in for multiple buy-ins, but him and the collector are definitely paving the way from the rest of the guys. As you guys can see in the 9 seat, we have Daryl replacing Adam. Daryl's been on the stream a couple times before. He's a great player. He's great action, a lot of fun to play against. He's definitely a friend of ours, and as well as Daryl, as well as Regis. So happy to have him on the stream. And he's gonna get into it first hand, King 10 suited. He's gonna raise, get 3-bet by Wolfgang on the button, and I don't think he's ever folding this hand pre-flop. He's gonna make the call and see it flop 3 ways. He's gonna flop the best hand on a jack high board, but if Wolfgang keeps firing, I don't think Daryl is gonna be able to hang on too tightly. Let's see what Daryl and Wolfgang want to do here. Wolfgang's gonna check it back. That's an interesting turn card. Woodley, Daryl, and Wolfgang all pick up straight draws, but Daryl still has the best hand. Just needs to dodge a king, and king or 8, and he's gonna take down this pot. Woodley's just gonna let his open ender go. Totally reasonable. Daryl first hand in, scoops in $257.
So who's still left in this stand-up game? Do you know?
I believe no. I don't think Nox won a pot in a while. So, from what I heard, if the stand-up game restarts, like another dealer comes in when the stand-up game's still on, I believe that the people that are still in have to like split the costs for everyone else.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I'd make both of them pay it out. Just
Really? The full bounty?
yeah, I would do that if it was
Oh
up to
my
me.
gosh, that is savage.
But-
That's brutal.
And Dale's got another good hand to look at. Ace Queen suited this time.
Oh wow, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes against Ace Queen offsuit from Snoopy. I think what Snoopy does here will tell us a lot about his style of play.
Snoopy, no shy to aggression, dude. Immediately makes it, what is that, 135? Well, just 105. Everyone else gets out the way. Daryl makes the call. Let's see if one of these guys can steal it off the other person.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see how this plays out. I love when it's two hands that are the exact same hand against each other, and it's pretty much just like aggression wins the pot,
Yep.
you know? Neither player flops anything, and it's still on to Daryl. It doesn't look like he's ready to check first, but he does. Does Snoopy bet this type of board with ace queen? No, he checks it back. I think that makes a lot of sense, and we'll see if Daryl think he's going to get an opportunity to steal this pot right here.
He's going to go for it, yeah.
Oh yeah, big bet too. Wow. Over the size of the
250.
pot.
What do you do for Snoopy here, right? You have ace high. You might be good, honestly, but like if you face a bet from on the river and you don't hit an ace or a queen, you're just in a terrible spot. Letting go of the hand's pretty fine here.
I think that's totally fine as well. And I think that why that's fine is on that type of board, I would expect him to also check over pairs sometimes too. And so therefore you can defend when your opponent decides to get out of line, you know. I might be checking a lot of my overpairs there, maybe betting like tens and jacks of hands that need more protection, but like aces, kings, queens, I might be inclined to check on that type of board. And then you can check back some ace highs as well.
Yeah, Daryl shows the hand. Snoopy laughs it off, realizes he's got the same hand.
Yeah, nothing much you can do there. I mean, that hand just kind of played itself. But he prevails with the best hand. See what they're talking about right now.
If we're not in the same, but he's in the strap.
Oh yeah. You could still just pick a red or black right now just in case.
Okay, so it looks like it's down to the collector and knock for the stand-up game. And they're talking about how they're going to decide who pays it or if they're going to split it.
Because like if it comes out red, then he doesn't have to worry about what's the hand. So it's only if neither of us are the hand.
Knock could immediately wake up with the hand after discussing who's gonna pay the bounty. So.
Oh, and the collector just hates it.
Yep.
Knock tells the collector, you're going to have to crack a big hand if you want to play this pot.
He's got a big smile on his face. He's really thinking about it here. Does he want to put in his entire stack with
No.
Jack Deuce? He does not. Let's.
And I think Knock would have called
Yep.
if he jammed. Wolfgang's got a hand that flops pretty well. He knows Knock can be loose here, and he knows Knock might also decide to bluff very often. So he makes a call. I like it. My favorite hand of all time, 9-8 suited. Let's go.
Interesting flop. Neither player flops anything, but Wolfgang's got a gutter. Both players have backdoor flush draws. See what Knock does here. He's gonna go about half pot.
He bets small, and Wolfgang calls. He's actually getting the worst hand to put in continually more chips. He's looking for a 10, Wolfgang, or 9, or an 8.
Ooh.
And what an interesting card as he picks up the open-ended straight draw. And this is a card that's going to be way better for him than John. I'm expecting John to check this one back. If I know him and his overall strategy, should be a check back. Yep.
Wolfgang does not get there, but if he puts in a bet, I'm pretty sure that Knock's gonna fold his king high. So let's see if Wolfgang can find the bet here.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to bet here, I think it makes sense to bet small. And just target ace and king highs because you're not going to really get any folds from... You block 9s and 8s, and you're not really going to get folds from pocket 10s or a jack unless you go super, super big. Not expected to have a 6 all that often. So, yeah, I think a bet of like half pot makes a lot of sense.
Takes it down with the 9 high, shows it. Knock. Everyone's laughing at him right now.
I wanted to see what he did.
This one? Alright, let's do it. Nah, let's just do red or black on the flop this one. No more like games. We're restarting the game now. Yeah. We're figuring out our bounty on red or black.
I don't think these guys, they don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, I would love to not play it again. If there's like enough people, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be the one. That is a dual purpose. They stay on for a while. If you don't watch that.
Let's check out some more stats while they're discussing who's gonna pay it out. Look at the VPIP. Daryl has only been here for a couple of hands, but he's already played 66% of them. Probably I think 4 out of the 6 hands he's been here. Woodley staying strong with the big 63. You know. Nick Saban not too far behind at 42. Snoopy's been pretty active since he's been here. 37 is not bad. Everyone else about 30 and below.
Yeah. I expect Woodley to stay in the highest amount.
Yep.
What are they talking about here, you know?
From what I can tell, I think some of them don't want to play the Nick game another time. And then Jay's the one that I think he's the one that first started like the asking people who didn't want to play, and now they're all berating Jay. So.
And we've seen Knox pipped here with pocket 8s versus pocket 9s. He's still gonna go for that 3-bet isolation though. Looks like Woodley's not going to let him have it, though, with the king 7 of spades. Too pretty of a hand for Woodley to fold. And now it's on to Snoopy deciding whether or not he wants to go for that 4-bet. Doesn't look like he's going to. He makes a call.
I like the flat here, you know. Pocket 9, see a flop, close the action. Don't want to get 5-bet at all. You'd be in a miserable spot there.
Totally. It does suck because there's...
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, knock flops a set.
Knock flops bottom set.
Unfortunately, no one else really has anything. It's a horrible flop for 9s. If the 8 was the highest card on the board, that would have been pretty nice, but... Wow.
Snoopy's a non-believer.
He's going to float one time, looking for a 9, drawn to 2 outs. No 9 on the turn.
And I expect not to go big here.
Yeah,
on the
pot's
turn.
350. We'll see what he decides to size up to. I'm going to guess it's like close to 300.
Yeah, if Snoopy's got an ace here, he's probably not folding to any size, so I expect Knock to bomb it. At least 3, probably even over.
He might even go, yeah, he might overbet and go for a shove on the river. Yeah. I think that was 300. Did I call it? Yep, $300. It's going to be the price to pay. This puts Snoopy in a brutal spot. He's going to let it go.
Unfortunately for Knock, Snoopy just does not have an ace. Otherwise, I think Knock gets the entire stack.
Mm-hmm.
Knock does lose the stand-up game. He, I think, guessed wrong on the red black. Now he's got to pay back 200 of that profit that he just made right there. Check the stacks real quick. Still got a bunch of people over the 4K mark. We can see a massive pot tonight if those two people get into a big hand together. Everyone else about the same. A lot of people about the even mark, and then the collector, obviously, he's had a rough night today. He's in for a couple buy-ins, so hopefully he can bounce back from that.
What's your opinion when you rebuy? Do you always rebuy for the max, or do you ever rebuy short after you've been having kind of a tough session?
If I'm having like a really tough session, then like I just kind of like call it, because I think emotion has like a lot to do with how you play on the table, and obviously like you want to make that as like small of a factor as possible, but no one can really like truly control their emotions all the time. So if I'm like still in the right mindset, if I think I can play my best poker, I always rebuy in for the max.
Yeah.
And if I don't think I can play the best poker, I'm not a fan in just buying small. I just leave the game, come back a different day. Nothing wrong with that.
Gotcha. Sometimes when I'm really tilted or upset but I want to keep playing because the game is good, I'll buy in short and look for squeeze spots.
Okay.
Look for spots to get in my whole stack quickly, where I kind of minimize the overall like strategy at least, and just try to get it in with like high equity spots pre-flop essentially, and kind of almost, it's a little bit more high variance spots, but I feel like it's easier to play that way when I'm feeling upset or tilted in any sort of way.
I can understand that.
And look at this. This is a great squeeze spot. Speaking of squeezes, for Snoopy in the straddle with ace king offsuit.
And I think they actually are playing the stand-up game, it looks like, because otherwise I don't think Knock would ever raise with 6-5 offsuit. So
you see that even like some really solid players still end up finding themselves in it's kind of some undisciplined spots, especially on the stream. You feel like you want to mix it up, get involved more often than you need to, and we see Knock gets punished for that. I am definitely falling victim of that quite a bit too, where I see some hands that don't necessarily need to play, but I want to get in there. You know what I mean?
Oh, Snoopy forgot to show his hand, so he does not get the button.
Are you serious? Was that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's brutal.
That is unfortunate for Snoopy.
Especially for like a tighter player like Snoopy, like you want to win the button at all costs, and so like, especially when you get one through like that, you're like, shoot, no, I need the button. That could end up costing him $200. Do you feel like you're in pretty good control of your emotions? Like how often does it take you to get tilted? Because for me, I get tilted more sometimes when I feel like I made a bad play than I do if I get unlucky. Like if I lose a massive pot and I just run bad in it, I feel like I'm a little bit more level-headed than if I punt off in a massive pot, and I feel like I could have easily avoided that spot by just like avoiding a certain pre-flop configuration or a specific spot that I chose to bluff.
Absolutely, yeah. Like for me, it's like if I make like a really bad decision, right? Then like a bad call or like a bad raise, and then I think to myself, like, would I have done this if I was like at the start of the session? And if the answer is like yes, then I'm just like, okay, I'm probably just done for today. I'm just not in the right headspace to do this. So that's basically the tipping point for me.
Yeah, totally. I get that. And that's good discipline to, you know, be like, you know what, I'm not playing my best right now. I'm going to head home, because I often fall into the mindset of, oh, I want to stay and like make it back, you know, like when I'm stuck. I really hate ending sessions on losing sessions. You know what I mean? Good fold from Nick Saban. He lets it go with his queen. Frankie reminds him to show it so he doesn't have to lose this Nick game again.
I also think that Woodley had to go, so I believe he will be replaced by another player. He usually leaves around this time during the streams.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he was actually telling me that his wife is pregnant right now, and she's in like her later stages of pregnancy. Pretty exciting. He said that she let him out for one night to come play some poker, and he said that it might have to be a short-lived one, and that's why he was going to only do one buy-in. So, congratulations to Woodley. He's got to go home and take care of father stuff. So. Respect to him for that. And yeah, hopefully he'll get replaced by a good action player that'll make up for the loss of action from Woodley not being there. But he played great and always is a pleasure to have on the stream.
All right. Good stuff, Woodley. See you next time, man.
Let's do the bet. Yeah. I mean, if you've never been to if you like, no, I've done 170 before. I know I can. Why would I take a bet I wouldn't win? Let's put $100 on it. Go to the gym. I hit 171, free standing bet. Pay out. But he doesn't want to go. Did you get 170?
Probably not right now, though. I read statistic that less than 1% of guys double straddle. Seriously? I think yours would be less than 1%. Less than 1% of guys can hit 225 bench. That's 2 plays.
Interesting. Can you hit 225 bench?
I can, yeah.
So can I. It feels good to be in that 1%, I guess.
What's your max?
The most I've ever done is, I think, is 235.
Okay.
But I don't really flat bench too often. I mostly do the dumbbells.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a definitely like actual bench kind of guy.
Gotcha.
Max is 255.
Dang.
So
Evan's been getting in the gym. Respect.
That was before I played like a lot of poker, but now I've been playing like at least 3 or 4 times a week. So I definitely gotta hit the gym more.
Yeah, I try to hit it at least 4 times a week. But some weeks poker gets in the way for sure.
Yep.
Other stuff, other commitments like school and other things like that can get in the way. But it helps when my roommates also work out a lot, so they kind of push me in the right direction. Like if I'm slacking one day or they're slacking, kind of motivate each other to go. So that's always helpful. You got any roommates that work out too?
No, my roommates definitely don't. Like I always just work out by myself. I'm actually like prefer that because like sometimes when I work with other people, like just taking turns, you know, it kind of slows things down. And like especially if you're doing like different weights, you have to like re-rack the weights, put the different ones back on.
Sure.
Yeah. So I do like working out with friends because it's just a more enjoyable experience. But I think if I'm trying to focus like on working out, then I'd probably go by my own.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. I think it makes it much more enjoyable. And I feel like I actually push myself harder when I'm with a friend because my roommates and I are a little competitive. And like we're all pretty similar builds. And so like we're very similar in strength. Oh, and look at that. Got to stop that for just a quick chat from Woodley. He super chatted. Thanks, boys. Here's my profit from the night. Good game to everyone. $50 super chat from Ryan Woodley. Thank you very much. Again, always a pleasure to have you on the stream. And You are becoming a local legend in the Poker House Dallas live stream industry. Thank you so much for coming, Woodley. And congratulations on the baby that's soon to be born. Excited to see some pictures and stuff from that. Maybe the baby will become a poker prodigy. Teach it everything you know. See Frankie picking up the nut flush draw here versus Saban's garbage hand. Betting a call. Frankie's been hitting his aces when he needs to.
I've noticed a lot of people floating the flops with like not the best hands. So,
I know.
Yeah.
But then it's like they're not really doing anything to try to steal it. Like he's just check called both times with queen high. I wonder if he's gonna call a river bet too. And definitely got to go for value once more. Overpots it for $300. And he shows the queen five offsuit.
Queen high. Does not get money. Frankie. Yep. I like that bet from Frankie. You can target an ace, and then if he's got a 9, you're honestly probably not getting raids. So sets his price to go to showdown, gets value from worse, and folds if he gets raised somehow. Yep. Sheck Jesus says, Frankie looking like a young Garrett Adelstein. I've been really enjoying seeing Frankie play, like from this side of the broadcast, you know? Because like when you're playing against him, he's like so mysterious, right? You never know what he's got. He's an actual shark, right? But now that I can see what he's got, it's a great time looking at him.
Yeah, definitely. He's playing great. I like that bet targeting an ace as well. I completely agree. Nick Saban, what is you doing, child, says Ted. He's trying to win the button game. That's what he's doing. They're playing the stand-up game. Wow, the first walk of the stream.
Wow.
And Jay wins his button without having to do anything. What a great feeling. Knock had a hand he could have played there in the small blind. He had ace-8 offsuit, but decided to give it up.
So Woodley got replaced in the 7th seed. I actually do not recognize this player. Do you know him?
I recognize him. I don't know if I actually played with him or not. I think his name on the stream is MITS. I don't know if that's MITS or if it stands for something, but interested to see how he plays. He looks like he's a pretty good player just from like his overall stats there. He bought in for the max. We'll have to see, but yeah. I know I have played with him before. I think I know I've seen him playing here before. I don't know if I've actually played at the same table.
Welcome to the game, Mitz.
Oh, yeah. I actually think he might be Wolfgang's friend.
Okay.
Daryl's getting an active here. He raises $25 and calls a 3-bet from Wolfgang with the King Jack of Diamonds. See if Daryl's 7-6 offsuit can outflop him. Flops a straight draw.
If I know Daryl, he's definitely not going to fold for 1 bet when he's got a draw like this.
Totally not. No help for Daryl on the turn. See if Wolf decides to fire again here, trying to target any weaker pairs than an ace. I don't think he's going to get an ace to fold here, but he is going to go for it again. I think that's going to get Daryl to fold, if I had to guess. 175 is the price. Little does he know he's value betting here.
Daryl's thinking about getting in there. He does not like the fold at all. Begrudgingly lets it go. Shows it and then wins his button. So Jameson in the chat asked, how does the stand-up game work?
You want to explain it?
Yeah, I'll do it. So first of all, they're not standing up, obviously, because we've been going over this. That's like really bad for the stream because as you can see, like we're focusing on their faces, but if they stood up, their faces would be out of frame. So what we're doing instead is we're playing called the Nick game, right? So if you see those big red buttons in front of some of the players, at the start of the game, no one has a button. And if you win a hand, whether it's showdown, whether it's preflop, no matter what, if you win the hand and you got to show your hand, you get one of those buttons. So the last person to get a button will have to pay a bounty to every other player in the game. In this case, it's $25 each. So if you don't win a hand, you're the last player to win a hand, you have to pay $200 to the rest of the table. And what this does is it drives action because once there's 2 or 3 players left, none of those guys wants to be the last player in, you know?
Of course not.
Exactly. $200, a lot of money. You play more hands. You battle harder. You bluff more. So I'm personally a big fan of this game, and it's been great action tonight so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And we'll see what type of player Mitz is here with the Jack Deuce, whether he defends or not. It looks like he's going to defend because they, like Evan just described, they're playing the stand-up game. No! Wow.
He's going to squeeze it. Wow, I really like this play, you know?
Yeah, he's coming and firing, and Daryl does not look like he wants to fold. He's thinking about it. Oh my gosh, Daryl's going to give him a run for his money. He's saying, listen, sir, if you've got a hand, you're going to have to play me post-flop out of position. What are you going to do about it? Daryl calls for the 10 deuce of hearts, and he's actually dominated
He is.
by the Jack Deuce offsuit. What is going to happen this hand? And a 9-9 flop. Pretty dry. No player has anything.
Mitz is going to give up. Wow. Let's see if Daryl can steal away from him.
I definitely think he should have bet there. It just seems that Daryl's pretty strong when he calls, or when he calls a 20 and then calls to a 150, but once he checks, I feel like you have a pretty comfortable bet on the turn. Just hope you're just trying to fold out all of his like queen, king, maybe even ace size that might fold to a bet.
That's 1/3 pawn on the turn. Let's see what Daryl does. I'd love to see Daryl put in a raise here, you know?
Yeah.
When the person that bet 3 bets pre-flop just checks the flop, I think they're weighted towards a lot of like ace high hands. If they have like a hand like an overpair, I think they'd be betting that board like almost all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Does not pull the trigger, shows the jack high, wins his seat back, or wins the button.
And also that might give him some more action in the future. Now that he just showed he squeezed with Jack Deuce offsuit, he might not get some credit and get some players to pay him off in some really big spots in the future. And it's not that expensive a way to do so, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Take a look at the stacks once again. Not too much difference. Frankie and Jay still crushing right now. Wolfgang up a good bit. Everyone else about starting stack, and the collector, he's sitting down there with his little stack.
If I know Daryl's going to want to play the 9-6 offsuit.
He's going to immediately raise it up. Yeah.
Tonight.
Daryl, no shortage of action from him.
If I'm the collector here, he has the button. I was going to say, if I don't have the button, I think I just might even consider ripping it. But facing Daryl's under the gun open, I think I might just call in the big blind if I'm not going to ship it. But I guess if you know how wide Daryl's going, then Can't be too bad.
Yep.
3-bet with ace-10.
Daryl's going to flop the best hand.
Mm-hmm. On a board that's going to be good for the collector, but he checks it with this ace-high. I'll bet Daryl takes a little stab. Holy smokes, that's a big bet. 185 is the bet. And that's going to price collector out. He folds. Dale collects his button, earns it rightfully so with the 9-6 offsuit. And I think he shows it. I think everyone's got a show. So
Yep.
no player
I think he
seems
actually
to
already
lose.
had a button.
Oh,
so,
yeah, he might have.
As we can see here, Snoopy, he was the first person to win a hand when they started the game, but he did not show it. So now he's one of the last people that does not have a button.
Yeah, I don't think Jay has one either yet.
Okay.
So it might be just them two. You can see Frankie, Wolfgang, and Knock all have one. Let's see who else. I think it's a good idea by Snoopy to straddle here for sure. Gives you more of a chance to possibly win this pot. Let's see. He doesn't have a button. Nick Saban.
Jay does have a button in front of him.
Oh, Jay has one. Okay, so it's just them two, it looks like. Yep, just down to them two. And if I am Snoopy here, I am squeezing. I mean, 9 deuce offsuit sucks, but I am squeezing so wide here versus a collector's button or small blind open. Just 'cause it's like I'm trying to win this pot so bad.
Nick Saban's gonna come along. He's free rolling the stand-up game right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get collector to fold, yeah. Collector's offering him a deal.
It's such an interesting spot. Like when you 3-bet and you isolate someone, people miss flops so often. You miss a flop like what 2/3 of the time or something like that. So if you can accurately get people into good configurations consistently and then just c-bet every flop, you can like directly profit just from being able to achieve those configurations as often as possible.
I agree.
And then it just becomes kind of a balancing game of how often or how wide do people want to float versus your c-bets. How often do they want to play back at you knowing that you're over c-betting? It becomes this whole game tree, and I love it.
Now, especially like today, we're seeing a lot of people floating flops with like king high, queen high type hands, So you definitely got to change up your game depending on how the rest of the table is.
Yeah, totally. We see Will asking in the chat, where's Rosie? And you guys will be surprised to listen that he is actually at the Taylor Swift concert today in downtown Dallas or wherever it's being hosted. I don't know. He is a Swiftie, I guess. I'm just kidding. He got free tickets from a family friend who flew in today, surprised him, and said that they had an extra ticket if he wanted to come with, and decided to take them up on that opportunity. So Rosie is over there jamming out to some Taylor Swift songs. If you guys are there, say hi to him if you see him at the concert. I'm sure he's like crying in the stand, singing all the songs. So Rosie's at the Taylor Swift concert. Hope he's having a good time there, Rosie. And Nick picks up a hand where he's got a chance to win this stand-up game.
It's gonna immediately make it $50 when there's no straddle line, and that might do the trick.
Yeah, and look at that.
Oh.
He even gets hands like pocket 3 from Jay to fold.
Daryl calls with the king jack suited. Yeah, I think Snoopy has to call this. Oh, leaves it up to Daryl to win.
I don't mind it, honestly, just a fold. I mean, you're putting in $50. You could lose a ton of money on this hand potentially.
It was like an $80 pot, right? We talked about like the $80 pot where he made.
And Nick Saban's going to just bomb this. I mean, he's just trying to protect his tens and try to win this pot. Will Daryl give him a hard time? No. And how unfortunate. Snoopy's going to have to pay out the table $175. Even though he won the first hand of the stand-up game, he just didn't show it.
Yeah,
so unfortunate.
That's pretty savage.
Yeah, that is ruthless right there. Did you hear they're talking about this Sean D body fat challenge? Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear about the Sean Deeb one. I know. I heard about the Doug Polk one where he's trying to like lose half his body fat. And
So Bill Perkins tweeted at Sean Deeb and said that if you can get beneath, I think it was like 12% body fat, which is like pretty insane.
Wow.
Within the next like year, I'll give you $1 million.
million.
To 50K. So he's 50K to $1 million.
Okay.
If Sean Deeb loses, he owes Bill 50K. They changed the bet now where it's 17% body fat.
Okay.
But it's till WSOP 2024. So he's got a bit, but it's 100K to 1 million. So if Sean Deeb loses, he owes 100K.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's such a good deal, dude. Like $1 million to get yourself in shape. I would be like, well, thank you very much. Thanks for the free money. It's a pretty absurd bet. I don't know how much 17% is, but Ted's saying that he would have to lose over 100 pounds to get close and that there's not a chance he would make it. I don't know. Oh my gosh, and look at this spot for Frankie. He wakes up with ace-king yet again. He's just been getting dealt some premiums tonight. And such a great squeeze spot here when he sees a later position open and a later position 3-bet as well. Pretty loose configuration, definitely a 4-bet here. And he comes in for the $360 4-bet. Pretty sizable bet.
I presume Jay's gonna fold, yeah. And the collector, he doesn't have that much back. If he's up against Ace King, I'd honestly expect him to put the rest of his chips in here.
Yeah.
Hope that he drills a queen or a jack.
I think once you've already put in like a fourth of your stack here, you might just have to go with it, unfortunately. I know it sucks. I wouldn't have 3-bet this shallow with the queen jack. He's just constantly putting large portions of his stack at risk, and so it's a huge victory for Frankie if he gets those two types of hands to fold, especially. Picks up $172 uncontested out of position. Love the bet. Good play, Frank.
Let's go over the winnings, dude. Frankie and Jay absolutely just dominating the table right now.
Wow.
Up over $3,000 each.
You see, no one on the table's really down a whole bunch except for the collector. And Woodley headed out, but I think he wasn't really stuck too much either.
I think Adam was down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it was Adam and the collector versus Jay and Frankie, pretty much. That's kind of been the story of the stream so far. No one else has gotten too involved. It'd be cool to see, like, we can see a 10K pop between Jay and Frankie.
Good, yeah. Collector back in again, another raisable hand, pocket sevens.
Does he just open directly to 60 or is it 20 on?
I believe there's a 20 on right now.
Yeah. He's going to flop best with sevens. See if he decides to c-bet this board. I always have trouble with like hands like pocket sevens where they're good enough to open, but then you get boards where like your third pair, but you have so much equity to deny from like overcards. What do you think? You think you'd c-bet this board as an opener?
Especially from in position, I like just firing like a c-bet, and then I'm a huge fan of checking back turns to see evaluate a river.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's such a typical poker flow is like aggressor bets flop small, the other person calls, turn goes check check so often, and then a lot of times the person that was not the aggressor bets the river on like good cards. That's where I recognize him from. He's an editor. Yes, I've met him before. I feel like I've met him in California, actually, not here.
Okay.
But he just said he works with Branson Poker as well as Alexander Botez, which is pretty cool. She's like one of the most famous chess players on social media.
And I just really like how the poker community is so like interconnected. Like you always know someone who like knows like this big player, and then like it's just like entire like web, you know, of like connections, and that's one of the best things about being part of the community.
Yeah, I love it too. See Frankie coming in for another 3-bet. He's just getting some really, really optimal configurations here. Loose players open. He's in position with a better hand. Makes a 3-bet. Gets to isolation, and look at that. He's heads up with a better hand, dominating Daryl's 9-7. And they're off to a flop. Flop's best too. Daryl's got nothing.
After Fix is not meant for full blood.
I know. I mean, like, back when I was a kid, I used to edit Call of Duty montages.
Of course. So After Fix is your bread and butter.
Yeah, and it was so fun. And then when I started editing for them, I was just like, I'm just gonna use it now too, whatever. But it's just like way more difficult than it needed.
Well, you can dynamically link your projects.
They're talking about some editor stuff. I don't want to hear this. They're talking too complex. We've got 210 people in the chat. Still active viewership. We've got, like 30, 45 minutes left of the stream. Hopefully we'll see some big pots to end this stream. We've already got 2 massive stacks. Frankie and Jay with over 5K in their stacks each. Or Frankie's got a little under 5K, but still pretty big stacks between the two of them. And we could see some fireworks if we get the right configurations here. Wow. Mitts fold 7-6 suited under the gun. Okay. See the collector open it up.
I think hands like that, it's just like comes down to like a discipline thing, you know? Like obviously on stream you want to get more, and there's like a very pretty looking hands, but if you want to be like a long-term poker player, like a long-term winning poker player, those are just kinds of the hands you just have to, just let go of.
What do you think about limping them?
I think limping's honestly fine as well, but just a lot of times you have to go like out of position, like either like heads up or multi-way, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives you a chance to see if there are some good squeeze spots.
Yep.
Potentially, you get to see how everyone acts in front of you, and you get to fold for just one big blind if a lot of action pursues in front of you.
Yeah,
you might get the call and get a really good price in a multi-way pot with a hand that flops well.
Yep. Snoopy's going to 3-bet the ace-5 suited, like that play. But Daryl's going to outflop him. He's got a top pair, and he's going to lead right into him. I don't think Snoopy's going to fold. He's got a gut shot. He's got an overcard.
It is such a massive bet, though.
Oh, he bets 350. Wow.
Daryl, when he bets big.
He bets full pot. Now this is a tougher spot for Snoopy here. He goes all in. Wow. What a play from Snoopy here.
What a play. Oh my gosh, is this going to work? Wow, I mean, it's reasonable to lead out with the top pair, I get it. But then when you face a jam, you're like, wow, I'm only up against overpairs. Nice play!
Oh my god, I think we have to call
dude,
Snoopy
let's
in for
get
that.
Snoopy in for that one. And he doesn't show it either. Straight face.
Wow. All right,
nice play.
Snoopy
Yeah,
real
let's
quick.
get him in here. I think you do now. Grab that one right there. And then we're on camera right there. That's where the camera's at. All right, so we got Snoopy in here. Are you actually a new member to the live stream? Have you ever played on it before?
I played on the live stream once on December.
Okay.
Where I had a king against ace king as my first hand. I got scooped after running twice, but other than that, this is my second live stream.
Nice. Well, I think you've been playing great so far. We wanted to call you in to hear your thought process with the ace-5 of diamonds hand. That was a sick bluff, dude. So what was your thought process there? Why'd you end up going for the jam?
I don't know, honestly, but my first thought is I thought like, okay, I have some history with Daryl too, so if he assumes that the board doesn't favor my range, he likes to do some fancy stuff, and I try to like, I don't know what he had, but I try to like bluff.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to bluff there and represent aces like I did pre-flop by betting the ace-5 of diamonds, and I guess it worked out.
Yeah,
I would have ended that. I'm just glad that like he didn't actually have. Did he actually have a hand? I don't know what he had.
Did.
He had top pair.
He had 8-6 offsuit. The board was 8-4 deuce.
Yeah, he got the full top pair.
He did one of those typical, lead with a top pair. Some people do that play.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're really only representing overpairs at that point when you jam it all in, and he believed you there. That was a sick bluff, dude.
I kind of like, I wouldn't do that against most people, but I just have like some history with him, so I think that's probably why I decided to do that.
Nice. Well, we thought that was a sick play. Wanted to call you in, and welcome to Savage Sunday. Glad you're here. You're playing great. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
Good luck out there, man.
All right.
Awesome. Well, that was Snoopy in here. He just made such a sick bluff. I respect the hell out of that because It's a tough spot. You don't want to just call 350 with your ace 5 there, but you hate to give it up, and you can just put your opponent in some tough spots.
Yep, like I said, Snoopy's one of those players that gets into it. You know, he's not afraid of these types of anything really.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I always imagine him to be more of a tight player, but you said that we can expect some pretty sick bluffs, and you're right. You called it right on the dot. And we're going to see king-queen offsuit here. Go for a squeeze, it looks like, in the big blind.
He's going for a cold 4-bet here. Wow.
Wow, and that might actually work. Knock has ace-queen of diamonds. And this is such a tough spot when you get 3-bet and then 4-bet behind you. You just can't assume your ace-queen is any good.
I think Knock either folds here or he goes for like the 5. I don't think he's ever going to call this off, give Nick Saban a good price to call behind, or get squeezed by Nick Saban behind. So I just don't see him ever just flatting this bet.
Think he goes all in or folds?
Probably.
But a jam is just huge. I bet he folds. Yep.
He's going to let it go. Wow. And the cold 4-bet is going to get the better hand to fold. Wow. What a play by Mitz.
And we'll see if he... I don't know if he had the win the button game yet or the Nick game. I don't know if they're still playing it. So he doesn't have to show, but he just owned him. Nice play. Trying to bully the bully. Nice. Someone says, typical Jason. Seen him do that 100 times. Wow. That's surprising that someone's seen him do that so many times, or at least they say that.
Frankie waking up with ace-king once again. He's been getting a lot of playable hands tonight.
He's gotten ace-king probably like 6 times.
Yeah.
I think he's won every single time with it. Or most of them, at least.
Ooh,
and that's got to feel good.
Knock's going to squeeze the jack-9 suited.
No, I think Frankie only made it 25.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Did he? Oh my gosh, and he gets Daryl the cold call. Again, just getting these amazing configurations. It went $30 to 100. Just amazing configurations to go for a 4-bet squeeze. He's gotten that multiple times where he gets 3-bet and then gets a cold caller in between, and so just an even better price of 4-bet. Like, wow. What sizing do you go here? I'd make it like 350. I think that's a nice size.
I think, yeah, 350 to 400 is what I'd go for. He makes it 400. Knock snap folds.
Yeah, you see Knock shake his head like, ugh.
Daryl.
Oh my god.
Doesn't look like he wants to fold at all. He's going to make the call.
I think Daryl might be upset after that last one.
Yeah, he does not want to get bluffed again. And Frank is going to flop him dead.
Flops him stone dead to running 7s. Oh, if I'm Frank here, I'm finding such a tiny, tiny bet. There's only... Daryl has 2/3 of a pot-sized bet left. I'm betting like 100. Like just begging him to get in there. Maybe like 150. Trying to get Daryl to like do something crazy. Yeah, I love it. I love the bet here, Frank. I think very similar to Frankie.
Let's it go, Daryl.
Oh, Daryl's pissed. You can see it on his face.
Yep.
Frankie doesn't show. He looked like he was about to. And you heard Jason call out his hand, ace king.
Frankie puts himself back over the 5K mark after losing that $1,000 to that one-time J had kings.
I feel like he's played super, super well.
He has.
But he's also just had such amazing spots where like ace king versus a dominated ace, or like ace jack gets shipped into. He's just letting his opponents make mistakes, essentially.
Yeah, those are the best sessions you can hope for.
Yeah.
Play well, get good cards.
Just try to have your opponents make the most mistakes.
Yeah. He's getting heavily rewarded for that, too.
Yep.